to GLOBEBUSTERS.
We accept the reality of the world with which we're presented. It's as simple as that.
And welcome everybody to GLOBEBUSTERS. It is episode number 10.7, whatever that's called. Season 10, episode 7. It is the Flat Earth Library of Alexandria, and I promise you it will not burn for 6 months. Don't worry. It will not. We will forge ahead. We got a couple people joining me. First, we've got Zachary from Good Times for All. Zach, welcome to the show.
Hey, Jeran. Always a pleasure to be here, man.
Glad that you're here. And we've got Iru, I think, is going to be joining us a little bit late, if I read that correctly. And we've also got Joel here from No Longer on the Ball. Joel, say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody. Pleasure to be here. Happy
to have you. And we're going to be talking a little bit about this morning the Flat Earth Wiki. So we call it a Library of Alexandria because we kind of have this vision of everything being there eventually. People can add articles. I'm going to let Joel tell you all about it. He kind of orchestrated it and started off, and then people can be editors, and I believe anybody can do that. So you can add articles, you can add links, you can add, but I'll let him show you everything that we have so far, and then we'll get into some other stuff. But welcome to the show. Please, if you want to support the show, it'd be great. We do take super chats through YouTube, tips through Rockfin, and I guess Austin added last week, if I'm not mistaken, Ko-Fi, which is that how you say it? Ko-Fi? Ko-Fi?
He said it was Ko-Fi.
Ko-Fi, okay. And you can go to the description there and click the link if you would like to support that. I don't know much about it, so I can't really give you much more than that. But I believe that is it for the start. Hope everybody's doing well. I did see, oh no, we can talk about that after. And yeah, let's go ahead and just get into it right away. Let's have Joel present. Joel, go ahead and try and share. And let's see if we can get this to work right. Oh, you already did. So I'm going to move myself off and put you on. Okay. Whoops.
Yeah, I'm going to pop off mute here. There we go.
Okay. And then, yeah, do that on the main page. Let me get that up for everybody. Okay. Let's see here. All right. I think.
Do you think that this is what may have happened in the past? I mean, before we get into the wiki, I've noticed that, I mean, how many CDs do you have now, Jeran?
CDs?
Yeah. Do you buy any CDs anymore? Or
no.
DVDs or anything? Nor do I.
Not in a long time.
I don't have anything that shows a record of like the movies that I like. It's all on a cloud now, right?
Right. Yeah, they're doing that on purpose.
This happened back in the day as well. And that's why we don't have all these different writings and all these different things, and we're not finding, cassettes from way back in the day because they got rid of them.
It's possible. It's possible.
Just a thought.
Yeah, no.
I mean, we really don't find anything that, I mean, they say that they found crystals and things like that were containing information, allegedly, right? But besides that, I've never heard of anything like a record-keeping device besides a book. And if they built the pyramids, something we still can't do today, I'm sure they had technology to design something to hold records better than paper and ink.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they did. And again, what would they have done with it? Put it in some sort of capsule or something. I mean, it becomes difficult because one way of looking at it, I've heard people describe it before. Imagine if you took the flat Earth and you just twisted it 180 degrees very quickly. Just imagine that. I know it's crazy to think about. But if you did that, it would completely wash over the entire land with such a huge wave of water that everything would be buried. Be just gone in an instant, just be gone. So that idea of the mud flood, of everything getting buried, of everything being super far below. And then if you think about it, even if buildings were buried like that, how long would they last until there was just nothing in the ground? How long until things were, 100 years? So it wouldn't even take very long until everything just decomposed into nothing.
No, even like steel, like an iron shovel, there's a reason you clean everything off.
Right.
When you're done using it, because dirt will make everything rust.
Absolutely.
It's amazing how it does it.
Yeah, and then rust just becomes brittle, and then it's done. If it's laying in the soil, it's just garbage. So, all right, let me see. All right, let's get Joel on here. Joel, you're on screen. This is the Flat Earth Wiki. You can show them, start out with where the link is, and we'll go from there.
Okay, so Austin put the link in the chat just a second ago. Thank you. But for everybody else, the URL is trueearth.wikitide.org. True Earth, one word, wikitide, like tide, like the ocean, .org. Actually, go there, bookmark it, come back often because it's changing all the time. It's getting new content all the time.
And I'm putting it in the Rockfin chat as well.
Okay, thank you.
TrueEarthWikitide.org.
Yep.
Okay. Got it. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to zoom in a tiny bit so that it's a little bit larger on the screen for people to see maybe. Okay, so before I get into it, I was going to kind of go over here how we got here, how I came to the point where I decided to start building a wiki. So, if that's okay.
Yeah, please, whatever. Go wherever you want.
Okay, so first of all, I had to become a flat earther before I decided to make a flat earth wiki. So, during the 2019 to 2020 fear psyop, my wife told me a couple things. She says the stuff on the news is fake, and the Earth could be flat. And so she was kind of getting her information off of Twitter, and she's also a really stellar researcher as well. So when she said it, of course I laughed, but I could kind of tell she wasn't kidding. And so I kind of took it seriously, but I was like in the back of my head, like, nah, that's.
Now, were you thinking there was something possibly wrong? Like, was my wife crazy at the time?
No, not necessarily. We've already been through that.
She was already cleared medically.
Yeah, exactly. So I kind of took her seriously. However, I just kind of couldn't believe it, and I was like, oh, this kind of makes you ill to even think about. And I remember laughing about this, the story told that this guy went up on a balloon and then died because he was trying to prove the Earth was flat. And I was like, oh God, what kind of ridiculous, what was he on to be actually thinking here in 2023 or whatever it was that the Earth could be flat, So anyway, since my wife told me that, and I started working from home because of the bug, and soon I got laid off of work. So I ended up having a little bit extra time to research. So I began researching. Of course, when you Google anything or DuckDuckGo even, once you look up things, you're going to get all of your anti-flat Earth content first,
Oh, yeah.
all of your fact checkers. But at the same time, I was starting to become wise to fact checkers because at that time I knew that was more of a confirmation rather than a deterrent because of everything else that came along with the fact checkers. So I didn't give up. I kept looking around. I finally found the videos from the legends like Dave Weiss, Jeranism, Witsit, and GLOBEBUSTERS. All these shows, they really, really helped wake me up. And so, started off with Dave Weiss actually, but kind of moved my way across until I found GLOBEBUSTERS, and the 24/7 channel was just phenomenal, for
All right, sweet, good to know.
randomly just finding just content. That just blows your mind. So
Hey, Jer. Sorry to cut you off there, Joel, but there's been a couple messages in chat now asking you if we could turn up the volume a little bit on the
Sure.
microphone.
On everybody, or is it just me? Let me check over there. I was trying to get this chat thing set. Let me see where it's at here. Yeah, turn up the volume. Everybody says it me or just Joel, or all the entire volume altogether is low. I'll wait till somebody tells me that.
I could try to speak up a little bit too.
We'll see. Somebody's come back here in a second. What do we
Yeah,
have?
it
A
always
huge
takes
delay?
a second.
Yeah, it's usually not that long. Oh, just Joel, it looks like.
Oh, okay.
Let me try and
Well.
turn you over on here. Let's see. Edit mic settings. Let me go ahead and turn you up. All right, now talk. Let me see.
Okay, how's this? Hello?
That should be better.
Okay, and I'll just try to talk nice and loud here. I don't got a nice professional podcasting microphone because I don't do that stuff. So, okay. So anyway, I didn't give up. I kept researching. I found out how our senses were hijacked, and I came from a religious background upbringing as well. So I could see how part of this was due to basically what I would describe as a religious cult determined to hide God. And so after I learned this stuff, it just became basically I just didn't stop watching this stuff. kind of kind of possessed into watching all these videos. I'm subscribed to 200 channels probably by now, and oh my gosh. So just like everybody else, I caught up with this. I went through the typical confusion, anger, and exhausting research, and I became part of the truth community. After chatting with people in the community, I found basically there's a lot of love and acceptance here, and I began to feel better inside. I got more confident, less angry, and more in love with our creator, and generally more knowledgeable. So why I started the wiki was, first of all, I heard is either Jeran or it was Witsit. They said, "Hey, we need a wiki." And later on, I was watching the debate, McToon versus a flat earther, and McToon has his handy little defamation website where he's got all his slander on flat earthers.
Oh, right. So he's got his website / whatever and can send people there all the time.
Yeah, so he had that thing up on his debate. He just popped it open, he clicked a link or two, and there he was showing one of his tests. And the flat earther basically had nothing. They were just kind of they're just looking at the camera, and then they were trying to Google stuff around. McToon was just right on top of it with his website. And I said, man, we got to step up our game here. We got to look a little more professional. And then finally, what really got me involved to start this wiki was while I was researching just for my own purposes, I started finding more and more fact checkers and less search results coming up with good, solid information. So I said, you know what? We need to get this wiki built sooner than later. Pretty soon we're not going to be able to find anything. So I started looking into how to build a wiki. I've never done it before. I'm a software engineer, but it doesn't mean I know anything about wikis. So I started digging into find a place that would basically host a wiki, because I don't got a server, in my closet, and found a place that hosts wikis for free, and they're ad free, and those are super important. I don't need ads coming up. So let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more. So I started building this wiki, and it's come a long way since I began. So I'll just go ahead and get started here, unless you have any questions.
No.
Okay, so if you go to truth.wikitide.org, you'll come to this main page here. On this page, you're going to, of course, have a link to get into the index. But also there's kind of a community spotlight here, which kind of shouts out some of the thank yous or some of the news that has, recent news. Like right now, we have about 230 channels listed on the wiki under the content creator page. So that's some kind of exciting news. It also shows, for the visitors of the wiki, welcome. And then down here at the bottom is a section for those who would like to edit the wiki or contribute to the wiki. Basically, it's going to give you a link to the ground rules and a link to create an account. Now, you only need to create an account if you plan on editing. So if you want to just come here, view this wiki, you don't need to sign in. No username, no password, nothing. Just come here, look around. But if you want to edit, you'll need to go through the ground rules, which looks like this. It's just basically kind of describing here that, there's people who have different opinions, but we don't want to stomp on each other. We want to be able to have all of our views, all of our opinions, or speculations even, or even truths. We want to be able to have room for all of that. So, and also we want to stay in compliancy with the terms of use. And so if you kind of read through my ground rules here, you're going to kind of come across a section here where I have some links to different content policies and terms of use. And so these rules here are basically trying to make sure we stay in context and in proper use criteria here.
Now, if someone were to put something in there that was against the rules, would you be notified of that?
Yeah, basically. I'd get notified of any changes.
Oh, okay. Excellent. So you can kind of keep an eye on it if trolls decided to go in there and try to do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be able to see that. Can you just undo it with the click of a button? Like
Yeah.
say, okay, all these changes that were made by this person, bloop. That's excellent.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I can block them. I can block their IP address, so they won't even be able to touch the wiki ever again.
Oh, nice.
So
Have
yeah,
you had anything like that yet?
no, huh?
Oh, good.
So this is for globe skeptic, heliocentric skeptic content. All of the mainstream conversations can be put on the Wikipedia, the Sheeplepedia. It's got everything you need there. So all of your heliocentric theories are already out there on the internet. No sense in trying to come here and poison the well. This is for globe skeptic content. And this is called the True Earth Wiki. I try not to call it the Flat Earth Wiki because even though I don't personally agree with convex earthers and hollow earthers and things like that, it doesn't necessarily mean I'd be opposed to having some articles about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Well, like
trying
you
to
said,
be open.
everybody's represented here. Anybody can represent their ideas. Yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm. So just basically some rules here. You and/or your public IP address may be blocked permanently if you do not follow these rules, or you do face other people's work, or create content that is contrary. So that's it, and basically you agree to these rules. You go ahead and you create an account here, and once you do that, you're going to be able to start seeing these little edit source links all over the place. And you're going to start seeing a little more toolbars and things around your page like you see on mine, and you'll see your username up here. So that's what happens when you log in. Also, I have a wiki cheat sheet, which is right here. This has links to training videos that I built on YouTube. So if you go into my list of training videos, you're going to see here's some different introduction videos, how to format, how to do links, block quotes. All of these are different videos. And I tried to keep them short. And I'm sure they're dry. Editing's not for everybody. I have a link here to my Telegram channel, the True Earth Wiki discussion in Telegram, which looks like this. So in here, I put in news. People can ask questions here. And basically, I go ahead and start talking about how to, tips about how to build pages, some how to build links, references, images, math. And then I have a whole bunch of links here that take you into external links. So this wiki is built on a platform called MetaWiki, and so there you have a lot of help out there at metawiki.org. And so I have links to a lot of those areas, and that really gets into the gravy. And I don't understand a lot of it, honestly, but it's there in case you really want to get into it. So there's the cheat sheet that helps you out, and of course you can contact somebody in the community support page, which happens to basically be me right now. But there's my ways you can email me, you can telegram me, and you can go to my Telegram channel. So that's ways you can get a hold of me. Okay, so that's basically the main page of this wiki. So it greets you and tells you how to edit if you want to. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to the index page. Here's this link right here to the index. And what you're going to see is just a bunch of categories, frequently asked questions, and so forth. And this is how I've been trying to basically give an index to the whole entire wiki. So I can go ahead and click on frequently asked questions here, and you'll see the why the lie, what about Antarctica, satellites, some just various articles that you can click on, and then basically you're going to start reading an article. Okay, and then sometimes at the bottom of these pages you're going to see alsos and some references that are in line with the article too. So you'll see those if you let's see, right here's one. So this is talking about hiding more land. Well, right here is a reference. So if we click on that, it's going to take you down to a reference here. So that's kind of how this whole wiki works. That's how you can find things, is using this index. Otherwise, at the top is a search bar, and you can use that anytime, no matter where you're at in the wiki. This thing stays up here all the time, so you can type in things like moon, and you can search, and you're going to find page matches, phases of the moon, effects of the moon, what is the moon landing. That's a fun one. And so you can just click on it and read about it, and that's how basically you're going to navigate in this wiki. Okay, doing okay so far?
So far, so good.
Okay, all right, so that's basically the navigation. In fact, I think maybe I'll highlight a few things here in this wiki that I think people really need to go to and use. So if you go to the main page, or main page, click on index. Right here is a people link. If you go to people, content creators, this is a huge list of content creators. These are the legends, the ones who are sharing this truth, like GLOBEBUSTERS, Jeranism, Wits It Gets It, etc. Here is all of these channels. And I have about 230 of them in here so far.
Nice. And
it's growing all the time. I don't know if I agree with everybody here or not, but I don't care. They're out there trying to, spread the, the truth, in at least in their eyes, in regards to our cosmos and our Earth not being a sphere.
Click on Santos Bonacci right there, Mr. Astrotheology. Does that go anywhere? I think he's been removed. It was under where you just were. His channel was, shoot, I just saw it.
Mr. Astrotheology.
Thank you, Mr. Astrotheology.
Yeah. Mr. Astrotheology, yeah.
Oh, so it just goes. Okay, I got you. I thought it was taking you straight to his YouTube.
Yeah. So what you're going to get inside of any of these pages is you're going to find YouTube links, TikTok, whatever. Their backup channels if they have them.
Oh.
Places where you can get merch if I could find your information. Contact, links. So let's find Jeranism. So there you go. So there's your merch. There's your YouTube, your Rockfin. Here's how to support you with Cash App, Buy Me a Coffee, Patreon. I think Patreon is actually a video link also. I'll have to put that up there. And so I didn't even know all of these things, when I first started, but all of these Patreons and different things were. So I was just trying to capture as much as I could get. So you can see at times there's a lot of links involved here. how to that these are this links that were public. So I grabbed them. If, for example, his YouTube channel were to go away, well, you could come here and look for maybe an updated link or maybe an alternate platform. And I think that is super powerful, because in today's day and age, when science theories are in the nonfiction section and the Bible's in the fiction section, you can't be too sure what they're going to do with you, because they're really trying to crack down on truthers. And so having a place where you could come, find your channel, find their links, I think that's super powerful. So this one is one of the gold mines. Okay, so that's the
Yeah, for
people.
sure. I mean, there is, sorry to cut you off, but I mean, we do have like, the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. But for somebody that's on the fence or not even a flat earther yet, I know it's only $2.99, but I don't go and spend money on things, at all if I'm not already, kind of on board with it. So yeah, this is awesome to have something like this that's totally free. People come in and check it out anytime they want. Yeah, great
Mhm.
idea, man.
Yeah, and now this is a wiki. It's not even a website, and it's not an app. So Dave Weiss has some real gems inside of his app, like the people finder, things that the wiki just could never do. Wikis are kind of static content that you just put here and you can come and read. But it's editable, and it's editable by the community, and that makes it a treasure in itself. So if you, for example, Zach, if you had some goodies that you wanted to put up on this wiki, you would be helping maybe Jeran someday. And Jeran might have some goodies and he could put on the wiki and he'll end up helping you. And it
Mhm.
just becomes basically a gift that keeps on giving, in my opinion. So
Yeah.
you could all help each other. Um, if there's a low level, let's call it a lower level debater, and they're really screwed and need some help, this thing is just indexed. You can search. You could just bring things up and
Somebody
get help on the spot.
somebody asked, are there backups taken, and what protects you from your wiki going down or from an attack?
Well, this wiki is in a wiki farm, and it's hosted by a company, WikiTide, actually called Marahaze now. Marahiz, and they have thousands of these wikis, and they have volunteers that run this farm and maintain it and support it. So if there are attacks, they go in, they block IPs, they figure things out. They'll stop attacks from coming in. They'll do it on their routers and block IP ranges. Um, now, so basically they're maintaining the service, and so I'm not having to actually get into server rooms and do anything here. I'm just using this service that I requested to use, and that's what they're in the business of doing. They make money off of donations. They're a nonprofit organization, and so they're actually tax whatever you call it, 401c business basically. So they make money off of advertising, or I mean, off of nonprofit donations, and they run this whole basically free business. Is what they do. So it's in their best interest to try to keep this up. If my particular, our, sorry, not mine, but our True Earth Wiki were to have trouble, I would contact them, and I would go into basically their, they have a Discord. Discord is where they're at. And so I can go in and I can actually chat with them right here and say, hey, my instance is down. Hey, what's going on? and they'll go in and figure out what's happening. So I've actually got support, So, but for most general purposes, you guys can ask me for support. And the more people we get in here at working on this thing, I'm trying to hopefully build a community where people will be able to help each other. And as a last resort, we can ask Mara Hayes to take a look. But if it's like a site is down, yeah, I'm definitely going to ask them what's going on. And backups, yes, I can take backups of this thing. I can go in the administration section and I can request a backup. And so I've just taken a backup about a week ago. In fact, they migrated this wiki just last week to new servers. So I got a backup at that point before they took it down and brought it back up.
Somebody asked how long you've been working on this.
I think about 8 months now.
Okay, I was gonna say 6. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of this stuff, you just go ahead and dig in here, take a look around. You're gonna, hopefully see some stuff that's gonna help you. It's by no means complete. I think a wiki is never complete. I think you're just gonna basically be editing all the time. And it's just, if you look at the Wikipedia, that thing has been updated probably 5 minutes ago. It's just constantly being updated. So wikis are dynamic. They just keep on growing. So that's frequently asked questions is a good one. People, content creators, super important. Also here I have maps. So links to some of our maps here.
Very cool.
And I tried to make sure we got, and Benny Boy helped out here. He got me these ones, these nice high res ones. Super duper awesome.
Do you know?
And all of these. Sorry?
I was going to ask, can you hook up a website to this? So if we were to buy a website with a good name, we could map it to here?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. The others do that as well. I wish I had done that all along, but I just didn't. But yes, we could get a domain and point it to this.
Okay.
And if we have trouble, we can always reach those folks in Discord and say, hey, I'm trying to map a domain.
Gotcha.
So all of these maps, I tried to find the highest res maps available out there. So there should be real large ones here. Tools, which is kind of cool. Bob Wins, Walter Bislin's, just a few things like that. Calculators, like your curve calculators, different things like that. I'm trying to make a one-stop shop here where you can just get to it all. Heliosexualism 101. This tells you all of your globe facts or claims. The radius, diameter, circumference, distance to the moon, blah, 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 all that stuff. Just to kind of help you in case you get into a debate and you need to know this stuff. It seems like, the flat earthers know more about the heliocentric model than the heliocentric supporters do.
Yeah, that's a big part about it. In a debate, you have to know both sides.
Yep. So that's why I've got this stuff here, tools. Miscellaneous is another awesome resource. I got Bible verses. So whether you're into it or not, these are all of the verses that have to do with creation, space in the firmament, the surface. Earth is not a ball because, and all these verses here. Geocentric and stationary. I mean, there's a ton of verses out there. And of course, I did a lot, research to find these from other sources, but generally I made sure that all of them were pretty much in line with not stretching it too far, because I tell you the Bible is not a flat Earth book, but but it is definitely not a globe book. FE related books, so flat Earth books. This is awesome right here. Here's a library of books. There's almost 3 gigabytes of books in here, and I've got hundreds more to come. I just got to find time to upload them all. So all of these PDFs, I've uploaded a lot of these PDFs. I got the name of the book. I found out who the author was and the year for most of these, which is a lot of work, really, because sometimes you're dealing with a PDF with a big number as the file name. So you got to open it up and read through the darn thing and try to find the title and the author and the year.
Is Morals and Dogma in there?
I don't think so. No. Oops.
That's one of those that says that as far as we know it, the Earth is flat and stationary.
Okay, I'll write that down.
I think I have the book, so I'll give it to you.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Yep, I'll put that in there. So that's books, and then also likewise papers. These are a lot of these papers, studies, and things like that. Um, like the Physics Journal, International Physics Journal papers. Ether dynamics from space audits. So I've been, a lot of these things I got off of actually space audits is library off of Telegram. A lot of these books and papers. So I showed you heliosexualism 101. That tells you about the heliocentric model. Homeschool resources, which is kind of a niche, if you will. There's a lot of parents out there right now looking for ways to homeschool because our school system is beyond indoctrination. Let's put it that way. It's just become disgusting in a lot of ways. So I've been trying to put together links here to ways to resources that teacher or home, parents can use. Uh, whether it's puzzles or actual courses, if you will, like Creation Standard. That's the Flat Earth Brothers, FEB. They have a Creation Standard, and they do science and biblical cosmology. So if you need some science classes, I'd hook up with this guy. He's the best. And let's see, movies. Don't have them all, obviously, but level with me, flatten the curve, whatever. The Mechanical Realm, that one's awesome, and that one's free. Music, I don't have it all, but it's a good start. A bunch of music. So if you're looking for making a YouTube video or something, you might want to have some background music. I'm not going to claim any copyright laws or anything there, so you have to deal with that on your own. But there's some music. Websites, tons of websites out there. I figured we got to get these written down somewhere because if you try to Google this stuff, you just cannot find this stuff anymore. And finally, a huge library of videos. If YouTube doesn't do it for you, you can come here. There's just tons of videos out there, and they're all categorized. A lot of this comes off of actually Dave Weiss's clock app. A lot of these are his channels, whatever you call it, playlists. But there's even more than that in here. So if you're looking to watch some videos, if you click on one, you'll notice that the link turns purple. So if you watch a video, you're gonna be able to keep track of which ones you watch by these links will start turning purple as you watch them, which is kind of cool too. So that is the nut of the wiki. There's lots of articles in there, but I've just shown you some of my favorite highlights. So, like agencies, NASA. There's a great article on NASA right here. Talks about the origins of NASA, their budget, what NASA means, the Nazi connection. Um, Here's some of the presidential directions that have come from the different presidents. You know, getting man to the moon, getting man to Mars, taking man to low Earth orbit, and just their back and forth garbage. Here's where we talk about the technology. You know, Don Pettit's "I'll be going to the moon in a millisecond." Um,
Nano.
yeah,
Nano even.
exactly. So here's your Buzz Illuminati picture, just various things. I'm rather dazzled by the fact that many mysteries of the modern science are mirrored in the Kabbalah. Just some gravy. I just look for all of the good, pictures here for galleries. Here's the fun facts. The reverse ordinal gematria for NASA is 666. I have a link to that website so you can do it yourself. Here's all the 666s in science, like the 66.6 degrees, 66,600 miles per hour, la la la. There's a lot of 666s out there, as you all know. Um, Here's all of the people who talked against NASA, which is kind of fun. And bubbles in space, the NASA swim team. Oops, sorry. The NASA swim team here. So obviously I could have a lot more in here, but here's references and see alsos. So there's ISS fraud. There's videos on that I linked to. The moon landing, of course, that one's related here. So all of this stuff is here. There's just tons of articles. I'm quite honestly, I have focused on quantity over quality right now because I'm just trying to lay down the framework of this wiki to get it started. But some of this stuff is already, so good. Not tooting my own horn. It's just some of the gravy I found while researching to put these articles together. It just blows your mind how much nonsense is out there. Behind things like NASA or space in general. The moon. There's, you look at the effects of the moon, it's incredible. Some of the things you'll find out while you're researching this stuff. Like, right here, the effects on animals. Did you know the moonlight affects animals? It makes the wolves howl, right?
Oh yeah, it
But
makes the fish eat. Like I learned
interesting.
that when I was about 12 years old, 13 years old. One of my buddies, I think it was my buddy's grandfather, who taught us that because we couldn't figure out why. We would go to our fishing hole, and between these couple hours of the day, we would catch, a fish just about every cast. It was like heaven. And then all of a
Yeah.
sudden it would stop. And we'd go back there the next day at the same time, and it wouldn't happen. We're like, what's going on? And then maybe an hour later, it would start. And we found out, he told us that that's when the fish are told when to eat. When the moon is rising and when the moon is setting, that's when the fish become most active. It's
Wow.
crazy. Yeah, this
It's
is even
insane.
in the Farmer's Almanac. They'll tell you the best fishing times. At least it used to.
Uh-huh. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. I gotta get that in here too, because that's right up the alley of effects on animals.
Hmm.
Veterinary emergency statistics. A university found that there were basically a higher number of veterinary emergency calls during full moon cycles because they're howling out the wind, right? They're outside, I guess. Maybe it's more bright, the light lets them wander around further at night. And then they end up getting hit by cars or something more often. I don't know, but it's just amazing that these statistics have come from these different industries, and it's related to the effects of the moonlight. Plants. This university in Italy found out that basically the time you harvest trees, you basically it affects is affected by the cycle of the moon because the plants they're they have more what do you call it sap in them. They get drier or they're more sappy depending on the moon cycle. And so what will happen is if you harvest during a full moon, you're going to end up with trees with more um, chances of, pests and things like that on them, and rot and different things.
Oh,
So
yeah,
it's
even planting your different types of vegetables, like the ones that go in the ground, you plant it, during this time of the moon cycle. Whereas if you plant your ones that fruit above the ground, you plant it during this time of the moon cycle, and it actually affects it. It's amazing.
yeah, harvesting bananas.
Oh yeah, you can't do it during the day because if
Yeah.
you cut a banana stalk and the sunlight hits it, it immediately starts turning ripe.
Hmm.
So they do it at night and then cover them, and then when the sunlight, then they can ship it a long distance, and then when the sunlight hits it, then it'll start turning ripe when it gets there.
Yeah. So you got assessment of moon phases with hospital visits, kind of like the veterinary visits. Well, hospital visits are, affected by that as well, according to some research. Menstruation cycles, supposedly, it affects of moonlight on the temperature. That one's a little bit controversial. You'll go back and forth with that one, but I found some good articles who were against it and were for it, and including some links off to some video sites like Flat Rocky. He
Hmm.
does a lot of temperature tests, and so he believes that the moonlight definitely affects the temperature. And then there's others who say it doesn't. So anyway, I figured there's room for it all in here. There's no reason to overwrite other stuff. But my work, of course, I am not the best writer. I know there's people smarter out there than me. So I am really encouraging people to, contribute to this wiki, to get involved, to help the other, help the community. Because I know there's some people out there who can write way better than I can. And so I'm really hopeful that that's going to happen. I will, of course, get you started. I'll help you any way I can. Of course, I have this section here on the wiki, again, with the wiki cheat sheet and the ground rules. You get into this cheat sheet, it's got videos and help links and things like that. But I'd be willing to get on a short call with you and talk you through getting started. It's not like a lot of coding involved in this. Websites usually you have HTML and a JavaScript and coding. None of that's needed in this. It's a wiki. So what you're going to be doing is writing articles using wiki text. And that is kind of a shorthand version of HTML. So I can show you that here in a second if you want. I can probably make a page real quick if you want.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Just kind of go through the
That could be good to
steps.
see.
Okay, so I'm going to make this page for this content creator. This is a real simple channel. He doesn't have a lot of information about himself. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to put a lot of detail into this page, but I'll show you the process real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the index, go to content creators, and his channel is called True Earth Whisperer. So I'm going to basically put his channel under T for True Earth. And so I'm going to go ahead and click Edit Source. And now it's going to load it up, and this is what is wiki text right here. And it's mostly English. And also, for fun, you can even switch your editor to a visual editor. And I'm going to switch to visual editor because it's a little more appealing to look at. So as you can see, I am editing, but it looks just like the regular page. So I'm going to scroll down to the T's. And I'm going to click in this table and click here and say insert below. And see, now I've got a new row. So I'm going to copy this text. And I like to put the date here in a nice sortable way here. So that way people can click on the table and sort it by the date and see what's new. Okay, so I have this here. One of the things you can do is you can click on other links and you can see what the link looks like. So this says people, content creators, channel name. And so you'll know if I'm going to make a link out of this, that's the kind of pattern you're going to want to follow. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Click on the link. True Earth Whisperer, I'm going to say it goes to people/content creators, and I'm going to put in his name here. Okay, so now I have a link to his new page, and it's in red because it knows that that page doesn't exist. I'm going to go ahead and open that up in a new page. And it says, here's the True Earth Whisperer page. I'm going to go ahead and click Create. And I'm going to just jump right into it. Heading, True Earth Whisperer. I'm going to go grab his picture. I'm going to save it as something here on my computer from YouTube. I'm going to go ahead and insert his, where is it? Images. Insert an image. And I'm going to upload it. And I'm going to select his file. So there we go, True Earth Whisperer profile.jpg. That's what I saved off of YouTube for him or her.
Now, can you do templates as well?
I can, but I don't know how to do them.
Okay.
I've looked into it, but I just, yeah, if I learned a little more, maybe I could do it, but I just haven't found a good.
You can, sorry guys. Hello,
Oh,
everyone.
welcome. Ebru's here.
Ebru.
Yeah, sorry for my delay. As always, it's hard to be at time here with things of
Ebru.
family.
We don't care at all, or else you wouldn't be here. Come on.
Okay, no, it's amazing job, man, that you did. It's really great. And just for advice, because I am a WordPress user, and a lot of things that I cannot solve by myself, I ask ChatGPT, and it's amazing the code that
Good idea.
AI give you.
I couldn't believe the other day.
So-
You know, ChatGPT will do an Excel file for you with whatever you want. You just tell
Yeah,
it. I couldn't believe it. I was like,
No, it's amazing. So you
What?
can use you just ask, how can I create a template with these parameters, and it give you the initial code, and then you can add things on top, like, okay, I want to execute in Apache server or whatever, and it's going to give you all the steps involved, and maybe that can help you quite a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, honestly, I probably could have learned how to do templates. I just don't more or less understand the concept enough to know how it would be useful for
well,
me.
it would be like, so the creator page, right? Like if you had a template for it, which would basically lay it out for you. This is where the name goes, insert image here, so that it would kind of already build the page for you. It'd just be easier for people, rather than if somebody's brand new to this, they're not going to really know what's the order, how do I set up a creator page. Whereas if there was a template for it, then everybody would just fill in the template and all the creator pages would look similar. But that's, you'd have to, get one page done that you really like and then create a template from that.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's probably down the road that we would get to that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Because honestly, this template, let's consider this my template if that's what I wanted.
Correct. Yeah.
I got a title, I got an image, but I might have one link, I might have 15, and I might have websites.
Right.
Support
what the
links.
template would say is it would say links, and then it would say, like you said before, what did you say after that? You said links. It's got
like support,
whatever.
Like,
and then if somebody didn't have those things, they just wouldn't fill them in. But it would, if they had 15 links, it all goes under links. If they had 20 merchandise, it would all go under merchandise. But anyway, I can help you look at that and see if that would be easier. I just think if somebody had to come and build a page for each person every time, if there was some way to do it as a template, but we'll have to look into that.
Okay. Well, I've built this page just now. I'm going to go ahead and save it.
Beautiful.
And I'm going to call it Truth Whisperer. Hit save page. Boom. There's the page. I'm going to go back, close this. I'm going to go back to my index here. Here's my link that I just built. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. We added Truth Whisperer. Save. Now that page is live on the wiki. So if we scroll down to T, Truth Whisperer, click on it, there's this page.
Nice.
Just like that. So that was really quick. Usually, now if you look at all my other pages, this probably took me 5 minutes. I've done 230 of them. So I'm basically got it down to a cycle. But you're right, a template would be nice if it can plug and play.
And I could be wrong about that. Maybe that's not what it is, but that seems like it should be what it is. Because say you've got a page on whatever it is, Foucault's pendulum. If you just kind of had if it was laid out for somebody to kind of say summary and then description and then links and then other sort, then somebody could just go there and kind of fill it in, rather than if you just give them a blank slate, they're going to be like, well, what do I write here? Where do I start? Where do I go? So I think that if it was a template where it was just kind of plug in, add an image here, add your summary here, just be more descriptive here, it might help people creating pages. But it could be down the road when more people start asking to edit too.
I do have a page on Foucault's pendulum.
Yeah, there you go. See?
But
Big shout out to Glenda Safkin over on Rockman. $20 tip.
Glenda,
thank you so much, Glenda.
Very kind, very kind.
Okay, so that basically is what I wanted to show everybody. I want to, heavily stress that this is a resource that you can view anytime you want. You can research it. If you're doing a debate, if you're researching for a video, you can use this right here on your stream. You can have this sucker live right on your screen. You don't got to worry about, advertisements popping up, which is important.
And somebody mentioned how great it is that it's free. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah. And it's not costing me money either. But it's costing, of course, time. And so I work on this thing all the time. And, it's my pleasure, because what the truth community has done for me, I know that they're also doing for others. And I know that is a huge gift.
And I know there's people out there that always have asked me before, hey, I'm willing to help with something. What do you need help with? And I'm always kind of, I'm anal about doing things myself, at least as far as my website goes and things like that. But, somebody out there that might be a good writer, this is something that they might be interested in, to where they can reach out to you and then kind of become accustomed to it, and they can start working on pages in the background. So I think you'll get some help.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
Yeah. And if I don't, I'll keep at it, because the community has shown appreciation and excitement for this thing. A lot of people really love this, and I'm, honored, to be able to do this for. Basically, I was doing it for you guys, so people like you, Jeran.
Well, thank you.
And Good Times. I'm hoping that it'll basically become valuable enough for people like space audits to be able to use. He's got libraries of stuff. He could just come right here. Maybe that'll help him. If it's right on a pinch in the middle of a debate, you can bring open a page quickly. I think that's super valuable. So I'm hoping it works for the content creators, but anybody out there who wants to learn about the, subject of the flat earth, come here, look around. Maybe you'll find something. I got a ton of links out to other websites as well. So if you don't find it here, you're going to probably find that somewhere linked off of here. There's books up the wazoo in here. You can read those. There's so much content in here. And I think it's just super valuable to have it in one place while the world is shadow banning people and hiding search results. I think it's more and more important to get all of this stuff together in one place. What's going to protect this wiki? Well, I will try. I will try to protect this wiki because I think it's a valuable resource and it's a gift to the community. So I have a personal reason to protect it. So I'm going to, of course, protect it against trolls. If Mara Hayes or WikiTide or whatever wants to shut me down, they're going to give me a notice. I'm going to back it up. I'll be able to take that content and load it up on another platform. And if that doesn't work, I'll end up having to rent a server and I'll put the content somewhere else. So it's standard wiki text. So in fact, if you went over to Wikipedia, and you went inside of there, if you found, I don't know, Einstein or something, Einstein. If you went into here and clicked on view source, you can edit the wiki. This stuff is the same language, if you will. It's the same. So you're not learning something custom for my wiki, this True Earth wiki. It's the same as any.
Yeah, it's
wiki
universal. Yeah.
Yeah. So in fact, I can actually copy stuff and I can go over to my wiki and paste that in and it'll just work.
Phil just
including their images.
Phil just had an awesome idea. He said, Joel, how about a page to index globetard lies for debaters, like a McToon contradiction page?
Yeah, I have that basically under the pseudoscience is what I started to build.
Thank you very much, Liz, the Iron Maiden, for the $5 under pseudoscience.
So,
okay.
Love you, Liz.
Yeah, so pseudoscience, I just started that. So here's, I wanted to go ahead and put in the relativity, gravity, all of the pseudoscience out there. And what I mean by that is whether you consider gravity to be scientific or not, it's based on theories. And they call it science. So I call it pseudoscience. So I've been starting to build this page up. So you've got, I'm going to have that in here. Also, there are the miscellaneous heliosexualisms. So if that's kind of what they meant.
Yeah, they were more talking like maybe Glober lies, or because there's all these things that they always say, like that Einstein wasn't talking about when he said there's no experiment that can prove the Earth moves. Oh, he was only talking about this. So maybe like a list of things that they lie about or something, I think is what he was getting at.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it would fit here under pseudoscience, but I'm drawing blanks here. I mean,
maybe fallacy, common fallacies.
Yes, that would be a good one. Fallacies, I like it. Yeah, I even got one of those images that show you all the different fallacies out there.
So what happened if I type in the search box Jesuit?
Jesuit. Here you go. So you're going to probably end up with the agency's Jesuits.
Better not be a picture of me. I'm going to be pissed.
And there you go,
Okay.
Hero.
Nice. And what about, talking seriously, about, for example, put some automatic translation for sharing with other communities, especially the Spanish community. In my case, I can share with them. But of course, because I use WordPress, I have a lot of plugins that you can install and then have the automatic translation based on the geolocation IP. I don't know in this case if it's something like that to besides
Like if
right
there's an
button
automatic way to do it. you're saying.
and yeah, and translate automatically. But it's nice when maybe people just enter and based on where they are.
What happens if you hit that English button up at the top there, Joel? Does it change? Can you actually just change it to a different language?
Oh, okay. Worldwide, there you have
Try Espanol.
Spanish. Okay.
So if I do that, what happens is it basically it translates
okay.
on
The
my link.
interface. Yeah.
Yes.
But not the content.
Interface, not the topic. But you can translate the whole page using the right mouse button and click on the. Okay.
So basically, I have pages that I build them for translation. So I'll go ahead and mark this one for translation. I don't know if I should or not but I will. I'll go ahead and save this. So now this page is marked for translation. If I go to the main page, it now has a translate. Oh, yay, it's back. There you go. So here you go, Espanol.
Okay.
Oh, look at that.
Nice. Yeah.
Now I did this translation myself. I'll go ahead and click on Português de Brazil. This was done by a gal that contacted me in my Telegram who says that there's a community in Brazil who is ecstatic about this wiki but wished it could be in Portuguese. And he says, I can translate. And I said, oh, goody. So I did some researching. Up until just literally this 1 second ago, I thought all of this data was lost because they just moved my wiki to a new server. And this used to be showing the whole time, but now it's back. Okay, so yes, this can handle all kinds of languages, but the trick is you translate it yourself manually.
For Italian, you might want to write this name down. He's a member of the Flat Earth community for years, and he's translated probably all of our videos here on GLOBEBUSTERS to Italian. His name is Dino Tinelli, Tinelli.
Okay.
So yeah, you could reach out to him, and I'm sure he would be willing to help you out for sure. He's really active in the community.
Yeah, I have the direct contact of him, and he have also like a web page indexed by alphabetical letters and things. It's almost like yours, but it's made by him with his own style and things like that. In fact, he had a YouTube channel called Dino Tinelli, and if you enter into his YouTube channel, you have all the links also for the web page that he admin, and it's a very nice organized web page. And the old guy, because he's above 65 years old, he loves to translate things and help the community.
Very cool. I would love to reach out.
Yeah,
I actually wrote that down
YouTube,
from you last night, Zach.
his channel is Canal, CANAL 104 plus 3 separate, a space in between. Yeah, it used to be Dino Tinelli. He must have changed it recently. But if you search Dino Tinelli in YouTube, this channel will pop up, and that'll be his.
Okay, great. Yeah, there's another one I can add. So perfect. So back to translation. This wiki does not have this automatic translation. It makes you translate paragraph by paragraph, which is, I think, kind of sucky. But I read about it, and they said basically you can tell when something has been translated by artificial intelligence, and people who manually translate it, the people who read the manually translated text appreciate it. So especially when you're getting in down to nitty gritty scientific things, it really helps to be clear. And sometimes the automatic translations just don't do so well. So they have this translator in here. I got to basically build some videos on how to do this, but I had her, uh, uh, Favia, actually, her name is Favia. I had her. She did all of this translation here. So basically, yeah, you can do that, and then of course you can select your language so that your links follow it too. I wish it was like the Wikipedia does it. They only have one language button right here, but that's just the way Wikitide has it set up right now with their available plugins. So I got it this basically to work the way it does. So we can have multiple languages across here, which is cool. But it basically has to be done manually. And like I said, you click translate, you do it paragraph by paragraph. If you don't finish, it'll hover. If you hover over the link, it says that Spanish is 90% done. It'll say Portuguese is 90% done. So part of the bummer is, you're basically changing this stuff all the time. And so if you keep changing it, then your translation no longer matches up. So I kind of feel bad about it, but apparently that's the way these work. You literally have to translate these manually, and apparently that's the best method. Now I did this right here in Spanish. You can check my Spanish Eru, but I don't know enough Spanish to really.
Okay, no, it's quite good. Yeah.
So I did it with Google Translate, all of this. So I figured at the worst, it's not the worst. So even I can do this, So
Oh, it's nice. Yeah, no, it's well done. I ask you because, of course, we need to get the advantage of technology, trying to break the barriers between languages. AI start helping a lot. For example, to dubbing videos. I have a friends who use caption from the iPhone software for iPhone, and it's amazing. We translated, well, not translated. We dub in a lot of blockbuster things. Short videos, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, to Spanish community. The last one was one from Bob Laudel explaining the gyroscope laser in the different altitude, things like that. And it's much difficult on videos than on text, because text, it's just if you right click and use the automatic translation, it's done, and we can use it just right away like that. But knowing that there is a lot of people that want to help, and maybe there are juniors programmers or senior programmer, maybe in 2 hours they install this type of plugins like WordPress has, and it's going to be in my webpage, for example. If you enter right now from United States, it's going to take your IP and translate it in automatic things. So there are already plugins for free that done these type of things. So it's just the way maybe a programmer knows how to install on this type of websites that type of plugins, and just I ask for that, and maybe someone is heard us now, and maybe after the show he contact you or email you, and you can do it.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, that's one other thing. I need to make videos on my my cheat sheet page here. Right here, training videos. I still need to make one for translating, or two. That would be helpful. But basically, I described it on the Truth Wiki discussion group, and got a lot of pages translated already. but yeah, I want to finish that up, get a video out, kind of showing the process. And in fact, if
somebody bought TrueEarth.wiki and TrueEarthWiki.com.
and I noticed that, yeah. And if you look at different domain registers, I think you can actually get different kinds of flavors of domains out there too.
Yeah, I think GoDaddy's got them all. That's usually where I go because I don't think they don't have any of them. But there are some other sites that don't have some that they have. So you can do
So
.life,
Flat Earth is
all that stuff.
dying,
Who said that?
but that's what all the trolls
Oh
say
boy, yeah,
every
exactly.
week. It's dying, but still people are continually buying all these different domains to
Yeah.
sell to make money. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love
No,
it.
it's not dying. I mean, they've done a good job of quieting it as much as possible, but just so that these YouTube globe propagandists can just say, "Oh, they're making a difference." It's like, no, you're not making a difference.
I
it's
saw a
YouTube doing
video
it.
put out by someone. Maybe is the Bible from heaven, or I forget who. I apologize, but Hank, stop.
Hank.
Sorry about that.
Oh.
Must be a dog walking by or something. He always freaks out.
So
Now
there
I
you
forget
go.
where I was. Yeah, never mind. Yeah.
Well, I think that I asked the question in chat whether it should be a .com or .wiki. I like .coms always, but I think they're just more recognizable. Obviously, .wiki. I could see somebody getting there, typing in, and be like, I don't get it. I don't know where to go. But it doesn't look like there's a lot of choices really. So I don't know if people have got any ideas. You could type them in the chat, but mostly, if you just go to GoDaddy, right when you get there, there's a search box. You can just put in whatever there, and it will list a bunch. Maybe you'll find one that looks good. There are some cheap ones, but like TrueEarth.life, or I don't know, it becomes kind of I almost think something more like the Earth. They have the Earth.wiki or NoGlobe.wiki or Stationary.wiki is available. GlobeBusters.wiki, the Earth.wiki, something like that might be good, or something .info, the Earth.info, ourworld.info, something like that. Just ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I know the wiki tide might be a little bit hard for people to get or remember, but I'm just talking about when we want to give it out to people, we want something we can remember quick and easy. So as short as possible is always your goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If you want to help with that, I'd appreciate it. I've looked into it as well. It's cheap. It's like maybe $15 a year or something.
Yeah, it's not bad. I can even add subdomains to my domain. So trueearther.com, we can just put wiki.trueearther.com. So that I can do that right now.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we'll just figure out how to point it to this, work with you over Telegram or whatever.
Sure.
And then I can Discord those guys if we're having any troubles with that. But I think you'd be able to just point it right to the
that's
domain.
just a forward. Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of right there. I just showed an example of how you translate so far. Part of it is you want to make sure you keep the formatting and just grab the text that you don't want to translate and leave things like links alone generally. So there's just kind of a little bit of a learning curve to it, unfortunately. But at the worst case,
Okay, we'll ask the
do it.
audience if they have any questions for you.
Yeah.
Or any of us, I guess. Iru, what's new with you? Besides leaving.
What about my arrival to Argentina? It's quite nice. A lot of things, like I mentioned many times in the past. Every time that I come back to here, I need like a little bit of time to
Unwind.
get on ground again and connect with everything, and especially with the new government. It's crazy around here. With a lot of things, of course, economic maybe is the most important, but I see, very, very change the humor in the people on the streets, everything that we have a lot of businesses close, and the city get like it's strange to see my city in the way that I see now after these last 4 years, for example, because of course this is not just something based on this new government. But I keep working, I keep doing things. We have 3 Flat Earth conference in the next 2 months, two in Argentina, for a small in a small theater, around 200 people. I say small because the last one in Barcelona was for 500 people. Of course, our ticket it's $8, $10. Is it's just the price to address the whole budget, trying to cover the cost of the conference. And then we have the first one in terms of the international conference in Chile, and that will be more big because it's going to be around 500 people. But the idea is always the same: is trying to bring the attention of the media and trying to make things grown. And we are, I think we are doing a nice job, because this is it never stopped from the 2015. So we keep doing it, and that is all that I do every day that I wake up. I don't know if you're asking around that.
Yeah, everything. What you've been up to this week and things like that. Anything new?
Well, I'm not new in the sense of new information, but I reach a few new people, especially a guy from Spain that has like 400,000 subscribers, and he's going with the Flat Earth to a lot of podcasts, reaching the 1 million views, and it triggers a lot of haters and the bankers. But at the end of the day, we win that fight, that battle. So I contact with him, and I was presented to his audience a few things, especially on the visual effects field, NASA things, and it brings new people to the Flat Earth. And besides that, we just I focus a little more on, I like I'm start doing more videos based on syncretism and trying to something similar to my last presentation on the summit, which is like I just called for the generic name like the Gnostic Ether, but it's all these type of things of alchemy and mystic, and trying to understand more in terms of how to live with our own energies inside of our mind and our heart, and trying to connect that with the Flat Earth model, because of course it's important if you're going to discuss physics surrounding the Flat Earth. But once you reach that point and you pass that point, I think the best thing we can do is trying to learn how to get the best version of us, and be more using the I like to say the ether, but using all the possibilities that we have as creators or co-creators of this reality. And I think in that the Flat Earth is much better, that type of knowledge, than the heliocentric. So I trying to share that type of orientation beyond the physics, in trying to get into the metaphysics, but not in the sense of new age thing, but just going back and review the old history, not just in terms of Tartaria or things like that, but something that you can use in your daily basis, and trying to be a better spirit on this plane.
Excellent. All right, Joel, sorry, go ahead if you had
No
anything else
worries.
on the show.
So yeah, I'll just wrap it up by saying, anybody who wants to edit, please let me know if you need help. There's some contact information here on the main page there, under the at the bottom there, contributors of the wiki. You can reach out to me. If you are a content creator out there, like I just saw True Earth Whisperer in the chat, which is awesome, and just built this page. But if he's got links and other gravy that's not listed on his YouTube channel, then I don't know about it. So, contact me. Let me know. If you can't edit or you don't want to edit, you're afraid to edit, whatever, let me know. I'll build it for you. I've built all these pages so far. I'll do it for you. Just give me the goodies, because I don't have all the resources right now. I want to get them together and put them up here. So if you've got gravy, articles, suggestions, things like that, and you don't feel like you can edit or want to edit, let me know and I'll try to put it together and build it and get it up there. So there's no reason to be hesitate to contact me, let me know, or just sign up and do a little bit of learning here. It's not much learning to do. I've tried to keep this thing real simple. Basically, you just type up articles and save them, and I'll try to if you have like problems with it or something, I'll try to reach out to you or fix it or something. If the link is broken, I'll try to fix it, and then we'll work together on it.
Okay, let me see if I did put up a chat, see if anybody had questions, but I didn't see anything a second ago. Let's see.
I saw Ian's cat who recommended some things to look into.
Go ahead.
So thank you.
Oh, did you read it?
I will do that. Yeah, I read that. He says a backup submit to Internet Archive and use a program HT track to save it personally. I can do that. However, the wiki does have the ability here for me to do a dump. So I can submit and generate a backup. And once I do that, I can download the file anytime. And then I could import that into another wiki host, a wiki farm, and then bring the site up somewhere else. So that's what they use for that. In XML, so I would submit both of these here, and it creates a file here for me. So I have the ability to do backups with it, and then they're compatible with importing into a new hosted location. But if there's a tool out there, like Ian said, I'll look into that as well, because maybe it's more complete. Maybe it'll be easier to do, back it up that way. I'm not sure. So I'll look into that. So some great suggestions. Thank you. Anybody else have any suggestions or questions?
Yeah, please write them now so that Joel can see them. Give you a couple more minutes to write them, or you can put them in the Q&A. Mm-hmm. But now is the time to speak up and then you show one more time where they can contact you.
Yep. At the bottom of the page says, for contributors of this wiki, you can reach me here in the community support page. This link takes you in, shows you my email address, shows you my Telegram handle, and if you happen to sign in as an editor, you can actually use this wiki mailer too, which you can send me a message this way. But it's probably better if you just use email or Telegram. And right here's my Telegram link itself. And that's my favorite, honestly. People can, that way I can have good interaction here with you in here. So, suggestions, drop links, various things like that. Once I get to it, I can go ahead and say, hey, I got to it. I'll react to it or something like that. So there's hopefully lots of ways to get a hold of me. And like I said, I'm willing to, build stuff for other people if they can't or don't want to. Either way, it doesn't matter. I'll build it. But if they want to jump in and start doing wiki editing, rule number one is basically be bold. Just start digging in there. Start off simple, work your way up, come back and edit, clean it up, start putting cute little formatting things in like bullet points or whatever, come back in, things like that. That's what this thing's for.
Okay. Get your questions in if you have any. I don't see any. I don't think. Unless my chat's not working. Can somebody just write anything in that question box? I just want to see if it's actually working. Just type in hello or something, just so I can see they actually show up in that chat box. I don't see anything in the questions box.
Okay, ask something. Ask a question.
Anything, just type in hello. Oh, there's one. Where can I find this True Earth Wiki? Thank you very much, Steve G43 UK. Appreciate that. And yes, so we put the link in the chat right now. Again, it is at is it trueearth.wikitide.org? Yes.
Yep.
Correct. And thank you very much, though, Steve. It does work now. We got that. So maybe there's not a lot of questions for you. So I guess that's good news.
Whoops. Oh, yeah, I don't have YouTube open up.
Does it do anything like check links or anything like that for you? That if they go dead?
It checks internal links.
Okay.
So I can even, but it doesn't check external ones. So I can go up here and I can look for broken links myself with this with a tool that it has built in. But yeah, if it goes to like a YouTube link or something, I don't know if YouTube took it down. You know, did their nonsense, their shenanigans. Ooh,
they can pull those. They will pull some shenanigans, all right?
Yeah, for sure. So, in fact, I wonder why that didn't work. That's okay. Something went wrong.
No,
sure.
No, erased everything.
Yeah, that's all good. So I'll look into that later. But yeah, there's a way to validate links and things like that. So, and of course, I'll get a notification if a new page is created or edited, so I can always preview the page and make sure it is formatted nice or something. And what I mean by nice is basically just try to stay consistent with things nearby it. Nothing too fancy, but headers like this are nice, because it actually makes links out of them automatically for you. So you get kind of a way to jump around the page by clicking these different links here, which is kind of nice. So that's a good reason to use subtitles and titles and things like that inside your article. And other than that, there's nothing really special. Mostly just text, links and things like that. If it's an external website, you can just go up and grab it from your browser and copy it and paste it right into your article, and it knows it's a link automatically. And if it's an internal link, things like that, I've got videos and stuff up there how to build links, and of course I'm available to help with questions.
Okay. Anybody a question for him, or comment, or statement, or anything? Let us know now, or forever hold your peace. Oh, and I don't know if I said .org. It's .org, not .com. The trueearth.wikitide.org.
Yeah.
I might get that wrong.
And I think if you do .com, I think it automatically redirects you to .org.
Oh.
But
Nice.
they used to be called .com, and then they changed it.
Oh, okay.
So I think they have a redirect. At least they used to. They just migrated this to all brand new servers. They took the wikis from Europe and brought them over to the USA. And so now we're on brand new servers, faster performance. And they merged companies, and all of this because over in Europe they're having an energy crisis, supposedly. So that means basically they're just charging the snot out of people for electricity. So they moved all their stuff over here to the USA, and they're just basically making it more economical for themselves and easier to maintain, and also brand new servers. So it was kind of a cool thing that they did just recently. They're still in the process of moving thousands of wikis onto these new servers. And it's been a good, smooth process so far because they did it all for me. I told them I'm afraid to do it, so please do it for me, and they just did it. They moved it. And so they're really super, super duper cool people behind this system here. So as long as we stay in compliance with all of the rules, no kiddie porn, stupid stuff like that. That's really their biggest thing. They don't want wikis breaking rules like that. And if I see it, of course, I'm going to delete it and I'm going to block the person. That way it doesn't even have to go to escalate to anybody else. So I'm going to try to make sure that this thing stays in compliance. No, harm and hurt and stupid things like that. Medical advice, I that's all in the rules down here at the bottom. I made sure to write up all of the things I could think of. And
Now, do they have a place in there where you can report people doing things like that? Because I know they're doing
they
a
might.
lot of crackdown on that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
That
no,
way.
they might have a place to submit, but not directly through this wiki here. You probably have to go outside of this wiki
Okay.
and go to them directly and try to report somebody. So, but this page, of course, we get our administrators in here, like myself. We're basically keep guard of it, and I think that's the best solution. We don't need to cause any havoc on anybody else, because the more people break rules and it gets to their attention, the harder they're going to come down on people. And so right now they've been totally open. They've been very generous, and I'd like to let them stay that way, not give them any trouble.
Yeah. Awesome stuff, man.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I think it's just, a couple months away from being a huge asset. Just needs a few more people in there. That I know there's always people looking for things to do, things to help. I saw Andrew Baker said that he's going to help out, so that's good. He'll do something.
Oh, awesome. Andrew, yeah.
Yeah, that'll be great. I thought that I added a subdomain, but now it's not going there. It's going to that. What did you say? Mirahees? Whatever. What is that? That's
Mirahees is the holding company.
Oh, okay.
For the wiki hosting.
Gotcha. I wonder why. If I type in wiki.trueearther.com, which is a subdomain, it takes me to Mirahees. Wonder why it doesn't take me to the right page.
Well, you're going to trueearth.wikitide.org.
Let me check the subdomain I put in. It is. Go back. I gotta check my DNS real quick. Where's my DNS records? Here. I don't know why it didn't work. It's weird.
Because under the wiki cheat sheet there, I have links to external help, and I do recall reading through some articles talking about how to point a subdomain to it. So we might have to.
trueearth.wikitide, WICKI? Or WIKI?
WIKI.
Tide.org. Really weird. I don't know why.
Tide.
I'll have to figure out. So yeah, trueearth.wikitide.org. And somehow when I go there, it takes me to that wrong page.
Okay.
That's my own issue. I'll figure it out. Wait, maybe it did work now. Hold on, let me see. Oh no, that's.
And if not, I can.
We'll figure it out.
Look into it, because I might have to enable something in administration or something. I'll read the article about it tonight.
Okay. And let me check one more time, see if anybody else had a question. And oops, I see it wrong. .com. There we go. And no, still so weird. I don't know why it goes there. Type in for yourself. Type in wiki.trueearther.com and see what shows up for you. Maybe it's just because it's on my computer. And I'm going to check these chats. Wiki.trueearther.com.
When I do that, wiki.trueearther.com, it says your connection is not private.
Yeah,
and it says I have to hit
too.
an advanced or go back to safety.
Wonder what the reason for that would be. See, that's the page I keep getting to. That one there, the Mirahees.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's. I don't know what. I'll figure it out. That's nothing for people to worry about. That's just a forwarding issue when I forward it to that site. For some reason, that comes up. Might take a couple minutes too.
Yeah.
All right, so we are going to look at chats real quick. See, there doesn't look like there's any. Oh yeah, there is. Somebody says, "Hello, thank you very much. Deceptions run deep." Catherine MC says, "Why is it called the ether rather than atmosphere?" Well, the atmosphere includes the word sphere, for starters.
I'm not playing.
Yeah, most plane.
in the
Uh,
best
And
cases.
it's more than just a gas.
Yeah, it's different than that. It's almost like a underlying medium.
Think of a painting. When you're looking at the picture and you can see all the picture everywhere, but the ether would be considered the canvas. You know, you have to do some poking and prodding to actually know it's there. If you were in the painting, you know, it wouldn't be apparent. It's the background medium that I believe everything is made from.
What did I hear a joke the other day that there's these two fish swimming around and then there's a older fish swimming by him and he said, "What's up, boys? How's the water?" And then they kind of look at him and go by and then they look at each other and said, "What's water?"
Mhm.
It's the ether for you.
Mhm. Yeah, there's a lot of flat earthers out there who are opposed to the concept of an ether, by the way.
Very much so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
I ran into them and they tore me apart.
And then they call us ether cult because
Yes.
because we even discuss it.
But that's okay, you know.
Hey, here's my thing about things that people, because I've had people ask me, "What do you think about the moon map?" And I'm like, "I don't really see." But then they're like,
Yep.
"Oh, you're against it." I'm like, "No, I'm not against anything." Because here's the thing: if I choose not to research something, it's because it doesn't fit me, right? And it does. I don't see anything that's connecting with it. But I want other people to research it because otherwise, how would we ever find it? Like for instance, let's say the moon map. If I just say I don't like it, and then everybody else is like, "Oh, Jeran doesn't like it," so none of us like it. Okay, well then, if there is something there, we're never going to find it. So I encourage people to do the research on things that I don't touch or that other people don't touch because that's how you're going to find something. And then you present it, and then eventually, if it's the truth, it's going to rub off on us. We're going to be able to see that. But I'm always encouraging people to, I would never shut down research on any subject. I might tell you, like, I think you're wasting your time or something, but I wouldn't shut it down. I think that we need to have people researching in all areas. There should be people searching, just like the Earth moving upwards, or the what's the other one? Have you heard all the where do these concave Earthers come from? Or what is the other one they're talking about?
Convex.
We're the inside of a sphere, right?
Yeah, those are the concavers.
Yes, it's a mix between Portuguese from Brazil people, but they present like a strange model of the concave. It's not just like a regular sphere that we live inside, but it's like it's difficult to.
What is
It
there?
is in space,
Remember
though,
the
isn't it?
guy from Bilu?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bilu.
Yeah.
That guys are behind the concave air, but
Oh well, that was one. They're
50%.
just saying that it's got like a hump, right?
Yes, that's the word.
No, what's the other one that we're on the
Because-
inside? The
and the
convex.
other-
Whatever that is.
No, just
There's people
something
they're coming out of
that
crazy.
can
I've seen
get
people like they'll go into your chat and just troll you.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But I don't
and
really
then
get
you
that
have
one.
the other guy, which was like an incarnation of Christ.
Oh yeah, Stephen
and-
Christopher.
Yeah, and that is more like a regular concave earther in the modern days, because that idea it's also back in the past, and we have the hollow earth thing like that. So
Mhm.
it's crazy. I mean, we cannot find any evidence of curvature on the horizon, and it doesn't matter if it's curved or concave, or so outside or inside we don't have any curvature. So
Yeah, and I
Inverse donut shape.
well, yeah, and I do think that that's the case. But I don't think there's anybody standing underneath me upside down, and as I don't think anybody's standing above me upside down either, which would be required in that model. But when we look out over the water, I mean, there's nothing that tells me that the Earth would be curving up like going up in a sphere. But that's what some people believe, and they think gravity is the pulling towards the outside of that. I don't know. Lots of different ideas, but again, I'm not against anybody researching any of them because I'm not looking into them. So if you find something compelling, Ibru, have there been people coming to you talking about this Earth moving upward thing?
yes, and also that's I like to take that as a misinformation tactic.
Yeah.
It works pretty fine because, for example, when new people that it's on the globe earth education wants to address a flat earth topic, they start googling and they come across with that possibility that the earth is going up at a constant rate and blah blah blah. So a lot of people start talking about this. Flat earther thinks that the Earth is going up and the constant rate, reaching the objects that etc. etc. And they don't even address the idea that was presented with the Einstein theory, and this like an equivalent theory. I don't know how to pronounce it in English.
Yeah, no, you got it right. I mean, that's Einstein's the one who said it. That basically,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they use the example of the people, a person inside of elevator, and everything's both the elevator and the person go up and blah blah blah. But yes, that reached the Spanish community too. But I think, beside the mainstream media, nobody addressed that idea. The fighting in terms of the same flat earther in the Spanish community, it's just the Gleason map, and it's like United States or the English community, not because the Gleason map is not correct. This is psyop, because if you take the flight from Santiago de Chile to Australia, blah blah blah, and they don't take into account the jet stream or things like that.
right.
But they prefer to believe in the Pac-Man model, which is beyond reality. I like to keep trying to understand the Gleason map or the Gleason projection. Because if not, what happened with reality? I mean, you just extend the submarine cable from one side and came from the other side.
It's magic. Magic.
I don't know. You can have.
But again, it's just the same thing. If people want to research
things.
that, they can go ahead. But I just have, I get to a dead end where I say, no, I'm not going to. You can go in the north, and Bob was somebody who saw this, and many others. Watch the 24-hour sun in the north and watch the sun go around them. There's still people out there who say that the sun doesn't circle. Like, what? What do you mean it doesn't circle? You can stand at the north and watch it go around you. Right, exactly.
Well.
Yeah, so I think that the Gleason's is fine.
That, of course, it's not the best map in the world, but we don't have any great map.
And for anybody to think that we would have
projection,
Yeah, and if anybody thinks that we would have the wherewithal or the resources to do so, I mean, it's just a joke. Every single time that there's ever been a mapping of any area, or any continent, any coastline, it's always been done by governments who then drafted or used servicemen in the military and millions of dollars of tax money. Or you can go further back and go kings and queens, the monarchy who sent, supposedly Columbus or Americo Vespucci. And so to think that any group of flat earthers could ever create a map is just unrealistic. Globers like to pretend that they created the map. Like they themselves. McToon and FTFE went out on a boat and just mapped everything, I guess is what we're supposed to believe. But again, I mean, it's not. Nothing. It was all handed to them by governments. And the big one for me is Captain Cook, who did his 3 trips, right? And then his
around the world,
right? And his second trip was the one where he supposedly went down south and couldn't find a pass and basically went 60-something thousand miles plus. And what he came back and then he left for his 3rd trip before his second book came out. So it took them like 6 years from the time he got back on his trip. He gave all his papers to the Queen. He was gone on his 3rd trip, which is where he supposedly got eaten by the Hawaiians, which if you want to believe that. And then so his second book, I mean, think about all that could be done if somebody hands you, here's my papers, I just went and sailed all these areas. You could go through and you could correct it and adjust it however you want, especially if that person will never see the book. That person never, me saying that right now, I'm like, I wonder if they killed him. Never even thought about that. But if they killed Cook, one of the reasons could be that they were going to take his work and repurpose it and adjust all the things to create what they wanted to create out of it. So to me, I just think that there's too much evidence that the AE map does coincide with reality. Again, people are going to say, well, what about celestial navigation? Well, again, if it's just a projection, then there's some code that would basically take where you are on the flat Earth and adjust it and then return to you where you are on the globe Earth. Now, if I would have no argument if GPS was open source. If GPS was open source and we were allowed to see the calculations or whatever's done where you're not. And you get all these globers will just lie to your face and tell you that GPS is open source. Anybody can create an application using GPS. Yes, dipshits. Anybody can create an application using GPS. That's not called open source. You're not allowed to see the GPS code, meaning that if you're on a flat Earth and it talks to GPS somehow and then returns to you where you're on the globe, we need to see what is the calculations that it adjusted from where you're at to where it output where you're at on the globe. Nobody can see that. It's a military protected code. So again, there's so many things like that where the Southern Sea cables, the no cruises in the South, the huge amount of jet streams that are just being ignored, meaning that either you have to believe that in the South they just don't use them, which is insane to think that, there's some, and I found that paper from 1953 or 63 that said, and they were talking regularly, they just say, oh, and we know this is true about the jet streams, and they say up to 350 miles per hour in the South, which is ridiculous because if you do the math on the planes in the South, they're going about 550. So what you're supposed to believe then is that, yeah, they might be going only 200 and they're getting help with the 350 mile per hour winds to end up at 550. Well, no, it makes more sense to me that they're going 550 and you can add the 350 to that, and now they're going 900. And if you do that, then you take the 900 multiplied by the 13-hour flight, and all of a sudden you can make that South a lot further than it is. And again, if somebody wants to try it, I mean, why is there no cruises that go down south? Because again, the difference between a plane and a cruise is a cruise ship cannot make up that extra speed where we know a plane can. Now we're starting to learn that the higher you go, the more efficient you are, or you can go higher and go the same speed for equal energy, which means why wouldn't they be doing that? So I think there's enough evidence, to me at least, that nothing's ever been shown to me to be like, oh, the AE map can't work. It's just not the case for me. So
Another thing I wanted to say about what Eero said was mainstream when you're talking about the upward Earth.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's super important because there's a lot of, right now, flat Earth is really hitting, it's gone viral, if you will. It's
Yes,
really
absolutely.
hitting a lot of people. And that means whenever there's, somebody out there who hears about it for the first time, just like me, I started looking into it. And what you're going to end up doing is you're going to hit all of the mainstream crap first. It's prioritized in Google. DuckDuckGo, it's just the same. They're all sellouts. What's going to happen is you're going to go looking, they're going to fact check you to death, and then they're going to eventually send you to prioritized locations, which are usually debunking websites, but also the Flat Earth Society. And that's where a lot of this comes from. Upward Earth, convex Earth, la la la. It's great theories, great ideas, but don't let it discourage you. A lot of the content you're going to find is meant to discourage you and make Flat Earth seem laughable.
Right, I just searched flat Earth proofs and got undebunkable ultimate photographic proof. Then we got man launches himself in rocket to prove and dies. And flat Earth theory explained. Look at all this mainstream stuff.
Yeah, and it's nonsense. It's meant to turn you off. You're gonna
for sure.
find the some of the actual flat Earth related subjects that you're going to be able to read. You're going to find out is by some sort of priestess wizard freak, and they have some sort of weird thing going on, and that helps discount the truth. All of these different kinds of traps are out there for you, and it's prioritized. You are going to find that first. If you ever do come across real good solid information, it's not going to be right away, and it makes it very hard to learn this stuff. It's incredibly difficult to research flat Earth now.
I'm like 40 videos in. There's not one, and it doesn't matter what you change it to either. It's just meant to be silly. That's the whole point of it.
Go to
That's why
Karen
things
B.
like this wiki are so important.
Yes, go to this wiki. Go to channels like Karen B, Flat Earth Dave, Jeranism, GLOBEBUSTERS. All these
Speaking
there's
of
legends.
Karen B, real quick, I gotta mention this. She had over 500 people unsubscribe in like one day. They knocked her really hard. So if you are subscribed to Karen B, please go check, because yeah, it was like she went to bed one night and woke up and there was like over 500 were knocked off. That's crazy.
I had the same thing with IRM. I lost all my notifications.
Yep. Big shout out to Leland Wilt over on Rockfin with a $5 super chat, and Alan Korzep tipped $10, said keep it real and flat. Love all the technical shows. Ether is real. Thank you, Alan.
Yeah, Yandex. I agree. Use Yandex.
Are they
I
good?
think it's a German website. Is Yandex. That's where I found most of the links to the Flat Earth websites under miscellaneous websites. I found all of these guys using Yandex. And the only thing that sucks about Yandex is about every 5th click you have to verify you're not a robot. But it does find a lot more than Google and DuckDuckGo will.
Some of this stuff is such crap. I mean, it just makes me sick to see videos like this. Does the Antarctic Treaty prove the Earth is flat? Well, who the hell would say that? Oh, there's a treaty. It proves the Earth is flat. I don't think that nobody believes that, and yet he's got 52,000 views. I haven't gotten 52,000 views in 4 years on a video. I haven't even got 30,000 views in 4 years. You know, these videos are 37 million views, 378,000.
Well, allegedly, Jeran. I guarantee you're getting more than that.
Yeah, well, I mean, at least what they tell us, right?
Yeah, what they tell us. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, this is all just
with
meant
the
to
way
be a
that
joke.
it's growing and everything. I wouldn't doubt it that there are like even chat sections that you don't get to see.
Probably.
I know this is crazy, but like you have your normals that have been there forever and they're all together. But then as new people come in, maybe they all go to a different chat that you don't even get to monitor. It's got to be something like that going on.
Well, I mean, I think that their best
growing and
move ever
everything.
was the array, leaving us out of search. That's number one. Number two is that we're not in up next. So really we are only talking to people that already know us, that show up to watch us, so that they can effectively, and then they also know something very true about flat earthers, that flat earthers don't like to share things. And I get it. I mean, most people don't feel comfortable yet. They're not open enough with their family. So basically, if you don't get shared and you don't get up next, then you'll never reach a new audience. And sure, we could try real hard and I might get 10, 20, 30 people, that sees it. But if you're talking big numbers, I mean, you remember when we used to be 2017, and when we were on the up next, that's where you got all your views.
Yeah.
It would just start showing up in your up next, and people who search maybe NASA lies, then next would be me, and then so on, and then they would just get stuck into that rut, or they would get stuck in that algorithm.
Yeah, GLOBEBUSTERS was getting 2K live viewers.
Yeah, and I mean those days are going to be tough, because if you're not saving it, if you're not sharing it, then where would the viewers come from?
Yeah,
that's the hard part.
So DB Cooper the third tipped $5. Said, Jeran,
Thank
you
you.
had me at Captain Cook was eaten by Hawaiians. You should try a stand-up. Great show as usual.
He was eaten by Hawaiians, they say.
Yeah.
And the way that we know is that they brought him the hand. They were not hungry enough to eat the entire body, so they left the hand and then they gave it to the guys on the boat, and they're like, "Oh, it is Captain Cook's hand. Look, it's got a scar there." That's actually the story. But
yeah, he participated in the Venus transit expedition to trying to establish the astronomical unit. That was one of the last missions that he participated.
Catherine says, "Thank you very much. Can we call ether wind or air, or is there a reason not to?" There's a reason not to, because the ether is not the air. The ether would be the medium that the air is in.
You can call it a field if you
a field. Yeah,
that's probably just like the electric field.
Yeah,
or the magnetic field. The ether is a field. Yeah, great. There, Iru, beautiful.
Very well said.
Yeah, I like the field because medium seems to bother the ether deniers, if you will. Medium, they said, well, if it's a medium, that means it is something physical. So field is I like it. It's the field where magnetic fields or something, how they follow or how light follows or something. It's a field.
Yeah. I mean, they believe in a photon, so they think photons are traveling around and hitting your eyes at the speed of light, which doesn't do any damage to your eye magically. Your eye is really it's got like a fortress, a force field in front of it that protects you from the little particles of photons that come at you at 800 million miles per hour, whatever light travels at. So again, I mean, everybody's got their own ideas, but the ether is something that's been around and discussed for, as far back as you can go, as far as scientific talks. And
then I like the idea of Felix Dollar when he was asked in the park. From these two guys, which was they was engineering engineers, sounds engineers, and because the guy asked him to Eric Dollar if the atmosphere is the ether, so he started talking, a couple of things like we did, and he finished saying that, for example, electricity is polarized ether.
Oh wow!
Things like that. Yeah. So, and he start talking in a little bit of metaphysics, because he start talking about like ether is always there, but it needs like a human will to start to manifestate.
Wow.
And nature has its own consciousness, if you want to, but it's like, it's always, it's like a genius. It's always there for you. It's like a god. If you like Krishnamurti talk about God is always there, but it's going to be there, and he's going to manifest it once you ask or talk with that energy, that feel, that God or whatever. No, maybe I explained a little bit crazy, but in the bottom line is like the ether is a field. It's always present, but it's like in the calm state. It's not in the chaos state, and until you wants to do something with them and with him. And in that sense, electricity, for example, it's like an information that requires the ether to be, in action.
Right.
But if you don't use electricity, or if you don't use magnetism, things like that, the ether is still there, but nothing is create a perturbation in the field, but it's always there.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that makes more sense to me is simply when it comes down to what do I think is in space, a field like ether or nothing. Well, pretty sure it's not nothing.
Well, yeah,
considering nothing doesn't exist.
Choice,
So I mean, again, and that's what I mean. I've even tried to get it out of Globers, and I'm like, it's not nothing. It's just one molecule per cubic meter. It's like, okay, then what else is in the cubic meter? Well, it's empty. Yeah, what is it? Well, it's nothing. Okay, well then nothing doesn't exist. So, I mean, you just keep going roundabout on that one. That it makes more sense to me that there has to be a medium carrying things around, and I would understand that if you were fish, you would have a hard time teaching people about the water.
Yeah,
because you live in it and it's everywhere, and you can't push it out of the way. You can't get out of the way. So, I mean, you just live in it. That's what it's all encompassing. So I could see that. I could see that being possible. Huh?
No, if you like, I can share that tiny clip.
Sure, yeah, go ahead. And then I also want to ask you here, do you believe that there's a vacuum above us?
A vacuum in the sense of nothing, or
well, see,
or
there you
what?
go. Yeah. Oh, I guess. Yeah, I guess I don't know how to word that. I mean, I just don't think that that is the case.
We have a physicist in the Spanish community which became a flat earther, and he before become a flat earther, he make a presentation talking the difference between nothing and vacuum.
Please.
Because vacuum, of course, is not the same thing as nothing. Vacuum, maybe you can take it as the potential field to be something. Yeah, it's not something that is going to be nothing. So a vacuum in the sense of having less gas and less, less gas than we have here on Earth. Yes, I believe that, but it's not the same thing as nothing or emptiness.
Gotcha.
in my opinion, especially when you start, looking at the low temperatures and things like that. So we can create a container without any super special god that put, some solid barrier created with iron and glass. So we can have a natural, quote unquote natural barrier based on gases going to absolute zero, and you're going to crystallize the gas, and you're going to have a container
Right.
for gas pressure.
And then if you have, then you can go anywhere from there with liquid helium and things like that that have zero viscosity, and we know those exist.
Yes, all that kind of stuff. Yes.
And then from there,
So
you can really
friction,
get
so
crazy.
viscosity.
Okay,
So
so
what's with temperature going up at 70,000 feet? That's the one thing that eats away at me. That
But
really
more,
about the
more high
sky.
you go, more cold become.
yeah,
Well, no, but at 70,000 feet, it's like negative 65 degrees Fahrenheit.
and then it
And
starts
at
going up.
110, it's like only -6 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's gone up 60 degrees in
Well, but
Fahrenheit.
if you take the Go Fast rocket, when you reach the 100,
Yeah, no, that's way up
you
there.
have
I'm
like
just talking
minus
about,
270.
yeah, no, I get that.
Celsius.
But I'm saying at that 70,000 feet, what's going on there? Why does it start warming up again for a little bit?
Yeah, I don't
I
know
don't
unless
know,
there's
man.
something up there that's warming up with the sun, whether it's particles of some type or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But I've noticed it in like all the different balloon footage I've gone and watched. And I've watched a lot of Dwayne Kellum's, the GLOBEBUSTER ones. I've gone through all the data, the raw data, and right around 70,000 feet in all of them. I don't think any of them were at night. I'm not sure. But
Yeah, because it
the
levels off
temperature
at
starts
65,
going up.
right? It levels off at 65 below Fahrenheit
Mhm.
for like a good from like 30,000 to 60,000. It stays
Yeah, and
there.
then all
Right?
of a sudden it starts going up for some reason.
Yeah,
It's
then it
weird.
goes up. It's like an inverted layer, and I think they call that the tropopause or something. Something like that.
And in the official chart of temperature based on altitude, the official chart is like when you reach the Karma line, it's like 90 degrees Celsius minus, and then they put like a super straight line going up in temperatures, telling us that supposedly in outer space we reach like 2,000 Celsius degree. And that is just a drawing, because
Yeah.
nobody proved that, especially if you don't have gases to. So for me, it's crazy how you measure the temperature if you don't have you have radiation. I assume that, but I don't know if that is enough to measure lower temperatures in outer, quote unquote, outer space. I don't know. It's something.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I don't know.
I love when they tell us the temperature of the sun. It's like, well, what thermometer did you use to figure that out? But they don't give me an answer for that.
Yeah.
Not a glass one. Let's put it that way.
No.
Considering glass.
If you like that way, yeah.
Go ahead. You want to share your screen?
Okay.
Waiting for it.
And I think right now it's I'm presenting. Yeah, you need to
I see it.
enable
Thank you.
my.
There you go. You're on.
screen. So it's in English, and let me just find here.
That is Spanish.
So yeah, okay. Maybe it's this, and I have 3 videos, are short video because
Sweet.
it's 2 minutes, and so if you want to, I can play completely.
We would love
maybe discuss about that.
We would love it. Did you share with sound?
You don't hear it?
Well, no, very, 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 very slight. I think maybe try again to share screen. with
Okay,
sound.
okay. Let me
I'll
just
remove you.
maybe. Okay, I'm gonna try again.
Uno,
No,
otra
but
vez.
it's not based on the options here on the
Oh.
settings. Based on my. So let me see if now it's a little bit. Is it still low?
Play it again. Oh, let me add it to the screen. Go again.
Borders.
That's good now. Now it works. That's good now.
I have a question for you. That's borders
science and metaphysics. I mean, I don't know how else you can do it. But just let me ask you, from what you know, do you feel electricity comes out of the ether, like in electrostatic or magnetic, through electrostatic or magnetic forces? Is that where it comes from? Yeah.
Well, electricity is ether polarized into those things.
Polarized into
Yeah.
those things. So it,
Ether's not there until you want it to do something. That's why it can't be. That's why they've never been able to identify it. It's like a genie.
okay. It
So
takes,
it's normally it's dormant.
it
It's not,
takes,
it's not there. It will not
does it
manifest
take-
itself.
does it take human will and action to make it, or can something
Well,
natural make
nature seems to make quite a bit of it,
it? Okay.
considering the sun's charged to 20 billion volts.
There you go.
And the ionosphere, it's probably got over 1.5 million volts on it right now, and we're standing in 600 volts of it. Well, the atmosphere is the ether.
Okay.
So it's like if there's no wind, you don't really know the air's there, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Ether's atmosphere is analogous to the ether.
Okay.
But then the question is, does music influence the ether?
Yeah.
Like electricity. But that's the question: is how do these people make rocks float in the air, or the walls of Jericho fall down, or whatever? And then there could be something beyond going on.
Well, I think
If the ether is influenced by sound as well as the atmosphere,
right.
then that takes it to another level. Because the space itself is a musical instrument.
Sure. And
That's what these cathedrals, the way they're built, is perfect for that. It's like Alexandria himself designed them.
yeah.
And this is just a video about
Cymatics.
cymatics. Yes. So that is.
I wonder why I don't see a lot of people doing research into that at all. Do you?
About cymatics.
Yeah.
Well, I see
about it.
the usual videos on YouTube, playing with fire, water, and things like that. I think that because I add some graphics while Dollar is talking, and for me, I mean, you can have here the shape. This is in the bubble of water, and here you can have a lot of the shape, playing with a fluid, creating these harmonic figures and shapes. So I don't know how much you can do with
Beyond that,
cymatics,
right.
beyond this. I mean, this is all you can do, and then you can trying to transfer into your daily basis, and then trying to say, okay, I remember, for example, in the New Germanic Medicine, the hammer, which was the guy behind that, he creates and he start composite music, classical music, trying to address these harmonics and this vibration that you can play, in your ears, and trying to, be in touch with that frequencies. And then, of course, you have this scalar energy for health, for healing, and things like that. But I don't know how much you can do in terms of.
Well, I just wonder, like, would you believe in the guy from Coral Castle?
Yes. Well, I believe. I mean, I study a little bit. I see some pictures. I see this castle, and I don't know anything else. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I just don't. I mean, whether or not he was tricking everybody or actually knew how to stack huge, gigantic blocks on his own.
Yeah.
He did write the Book of Magnetism, the Masonic Book of Magnetism. Ed Leeds Gallion did.
Really?
So I believe he did know a little bit about, magnetism beyond the average physicist. Yeah.
Yeah, and I like the idea, like when Dollar asked, is the space an instrument? Because,
Right.
for example, we have the old books from Kepler talking about the music of a sphere, and the ancient world, they believe that the celestial bodies irradiate music in the sense of vibration. Of course, you don't hear the sound out there, at least with our ears. But this is, I like to see this as the actual language of God, of the all creator, because of course math is just an invention of a man trying to put this into a language that we can use and maybe recreate and replicate this. But this is geometry, and that is why we talk about sacred geometry, because the creation, you don't walk on the street with the square root, you know, but you can see a Fibonacci on the plants, or you can see, you know, when you take a look at the tree, you can see all these patterns, and that is geometry, and that is why the secret or the actual language of the nature is geometry.
Well, if you look at the Hebrew language itself,
well, they're trying to match that, because and in fact my last presentation was about that, and then you can enter into the solar moon temples, and you know, all the vibration of the celestial body. You can, you know, start talking about syncretism, and you end in the idea trying to speak and trying to pronounce the correct words and frequency and vibration to yourself and to the others, and you know, trying to not manipulate reality, but trying to use the same tool that we are created, and when I say we are, in terms of everything, trying to use as a creation tool. And because sometimes when we see that cymatics, we think in terms of 2D, because of course this is a 2D plate where it's forming the shape. But if you extend this into like in a toroidal field, you're gonna have these things, which is, this is like a spherical bubble, and inside is producing the toroidal field. So every time that we see that as a 2D representation, in fact it's a 3D representation. Everything is 3D, everything is a toroidal field. When we talk or when we produce a sound, of course it's not just a linear thing, like they want to, you know, when you use an audio software or things like that, you see this type of sound waves and you believe maybe it's just a 2D thing, but always is a 3D thing. You can, I believe in you, and they print this little toy based on cylinders, but this is just a poor representation, because the cylinder in fact is a little toroidal thing, and this toroidal thing, which could be some but that is just an illustration. Well, you can see here, then this is not an illustration, this is just on the real world, and there you have all. And this is like your, if you want to imagine in that way, that this is your words, this is you speak to the world, you know. And
yeah, I think the thing that's nerve-wracking, or at least so weird, is that if you picture, I know that science sometimes believes we're in a simulation, right? Or we're secondary civilization, meaning that there's like one above us that created us or something. But
yeah,
if that's the case, then you have to think, if we created a video game, like, could somebody create a video game that the players in the game would have, even if they had minds, could never figure out? And the answer is, of course, yes. Right? You could make it so that things happen that people in the game would be like trying to figure it out their entire lives, trying to figure out why, because they can't, like, who says that things have to make sense to us? Like, who said that? I mean, again,
exactly.
You'd like it to be the case, but also I've never heard anything that says, in fact, the Bible, if you want to go by that, says that no human will ever know these things.
Yeah. The thing is, I believe that they, you know, they use this programming language on the movies, and the thing for me is, well, yeah, we live in the simulation, but not in the Matrix simulation. I mean, we are not, you know, like a real body outside this simulation connected to a supercomputer and things like that, because
right.
Of course they match the idea of, when every time you talk about simulation, it's a computer simulation,
right?
Like we did, you know. And for me, if you want to see in the way that, yeah, we are in the simulation, quote unquote, where you are connected with an astral body,
right?
or like you can see in movies like Doctor Strange, where and I have this video in Spanish, but for me this is very illustrative. And in my case, the thing is that when I start studying metaphysics was because I have this astral projection myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't stop trying to understand what happened to me at that moment when I went to sleep and see my body outside in my bed, lying in the bed. So, and when you see this movie, this part, which is the Doctor Strange one, and you see all these chakras and these energy fields that we have in our own body, the woman asked to Doctor Strange, do you know this map? And for me it's a key thing, because we we get obsessed trying to understand the Gleason map, for example, but we don't study our own map or our own body as a map, to find yourself and trying to know what happened inside you. So this is in Spanish, but the woman start talk about it's in Spanish, about the maps based on chakras and electrical fields going around and inside of our body, and start talking about magnetic resonance. So you have all there in that simple scene where you have these, they are telling you in your face, we are magnetic, we are electrical, and we have this center point of energy, and that and this woman goes in order in terms of the chakra, then the electrical fields, which is this, then the magnetic resonance. And the idea behind this is that she wants to wake up him in the idea of, we have all these not physical things going around us, and then the ultimate proof is when you experience for yourself. Sometimes in my case, I don't know, maybe my wish, or maybe God give me that opportunity. Of course, you can take some plants if you want to experience that, but sometimes when you are so close to this idea, the only thing that can wake up you is the actual experience. So in this case, in the movie, this woman use his power as a teacher, as a master, to show him the simulation. But the simulation in this case is something that million of people around the world have this experience. Nobody touch a cable attached to the neck like in the Matrix movie. So if this is what we call the simulation, with me it's completely fine because I experienced this, but I never touch my head and feel a cable connected with a supercomputer. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now,
So
I was
I like to
in
take that idea.
high school, and this happened to me sitting in class 2 different times on different days in the same class, James Johnson health class. And I've wanted it to happen so bad again, Iru. You have no idea, to just get that feeling. That was like the highest I've ever been, and not a drug had ever entered my body ever at that point.
Yeah,
But it was I was floating. I didn't see my hands. Like he just
like
looked
Kim
down at
Carrey.
his hands right there. There was none of that. But my soul lifted up out of my body, and I looked down at my head. It was
Mhm.
so weird. Like he was still talking. I couldn't really hear him. I was too in awe of what was going on. But it happened 2 different times, and I would love for that opportunity again to really take a look around. I was just so, it really shocked me when it happened. It wasn't expected, or I wasn't trying for that to happen.
Yeah, and well, that what it's the words of Shin Carrey when he gave a presentation, I think in university, and he started talking about the experience, and he said, from that moment in time, I was trying to get back to that, to that experience. And then another layer on this topic is that even we have, if you want to take in this way, like a confirmation from the CIA Gateway project, which was, at the end of this project, they create the Monroe Institute, but you have the official document talking about that we must be prepared. If we want to enter in this astral world, we need to be prepared, like to live or to be in touch with intelligent, not body entities. So we have a lot of confirmation, especially if you have that experience, but we have this confirmation that we are living like two worlds, the physical world and the non-physical world.
Right.
So I think they very geniusly they trying to deceive you, trying to talk about the simulation but based on computer and silicon things, and not the actual, if you want to see that way, simulation that we are living, which is that we have these two worlds to experience, the non-physical world and the physical world in our daily basis. And I like to see in that way. I was trying to find the actual English piece of that movie.
Yeah, I tend to really think that the Earth doesn't exist anywhere. That's what I think is the most confusing thing at all.
And it's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I think that's the answer. And so what they did is they've taught people a material world where everything has what's above it, what's below it, what's on the side of it. And then they just included the Earth in that. Whereas if we grew up without any outside influence, I don't think we would think of the Earth that way. I don't think we would realize we live here and then there's things in the world and that's basically the world. But now people think, oh, there's things, 50 million miles that way and 50 million miles that way, or a trillion miles or anything like that. And I think that's just ludicrous. I don't think that we exist anywhere, maybe in the mind of God or in some sort of magical place. And they've just taken that away from us. And I don't think we do know some things like what is the moon, what is the sun. But people got here and said, oh, if we go there first and say, not go there, but if we say we went there, then and say what it is, then nobody will ever be able to disprove us because it's not like somebody can go there after us since nobody can go there. So that seems like what NASA did is then they just stick that one.
Yeah, and for example, this is, I found not the movie clip, but the a short version on the let me just play very quickly of the CIA document. I think I downloaded here. One second. Let me just 1 second. And yeah, I have here. Okay, here it is.
This is what the universe looks like according to the Central Intelligence Agency. From one perspective, it is a giant toroidal field known as the universal hologram, with a black hole and a white hole at the center. From one perspective, the whole thing looks like a DNA helix, or as they describe it, a cosmic egg. This is the diagram of where we are in the cosmic egg, and you interact with the universal hologram through the conscious energy grid. Here is our sliver of physical reality between the absolute infinity and the clicked out space people go when they astral project.
And this is a short clip, but I mean, when you start hearing or reading the document, you become in touch of a lot of words that they are used and move to a different concept, like the cosmic egg. That is an ancient, supposition of how this cosmos is. It was, I don't know, we are inside of a cosmic egg. And then you have that applying to, for example, Big Bang Theory, because remember that Georges Lamet took the idea of the Big Bang from a writing of Edgar Allan Poe,
right?
Which it's called Eureka. And that in that book, Edgar Allan Poe take the idea of a cosmic egg taken from the ancient culture. So everything is repeating, and I think they trying to lead us or mislead us to a different path and trying to bring into the technology or technocratic world, and they are using the same words but trying to make the match with a modern language. I don't know if I explained correctly, but
yes,
this is my idea of these things, and that is why I mentioned before that I am more in this.
You have that document there or no?
What?
You have that document? The CIA document?
Yes. I think I have it here, in fact.
I think I see a reference number maybe on
this
there.
This is the
F, is it that reference number there? F 2020?
Yeah, and you can download it. This is the complete document. I think because it was...
What I'm saying is, how do I search for that? F, search what? What is the number?
The number is okay, because I put the.
I think
Well,
I
I
saw it
don't
on the
know.
other
I
page.
can give you the document. I downloaded this from the CIA server. But the controversy of this document is that for a long time they took away the page 25. I don't know exactly why. And then I think in 2006 they released the 25 page with a little bit of scratches and things like that. But this is the actual document from them. It's
Yeah, what
amazing
did scroll
because
up a
you
little
can
bit? What
see
did
a
they
lot
say?
of work.
And what did they say about the double helix?
Well, no, I think
There's one
here
above
you
there, I
can
think.
have. This is supposedly
Oh, there.
military training people.
Wow, see that right there?
They,
That's on our dollar. That heart looking thing at the middle with the double with the double helix in the middle. If you look at
yeah.
I just happened to be looking at this website the other day that was like a macro site where it super zooms into items, and one of the collections was dollar bills. So I pulled it up and I was able to see closer in a dollar bill than I've ever seen. And I noticed that there's a double helix DNA like that running through the entire outer stretch of the entire dollar bill.
Okay.
It's that thing there with the
Another
crossing and it's kind of that's kind of crazy. I have to find that site again. I don't remember what it was called.
Well, I mean, remember that Cosmic Egg. I mean, this is supposedly they actually train people in the military industry. I don't know how to say, and they train these guys to go remotely to other locations on the earth and trying to see the military bases of the people on the Iraq.
Mm-hmm.
But when they start playing with this thing and they start getting out of their bodies, they cannot go to the desired location and use it as a military weapon. But these soldiers start bring this type of information from the astral world. That is what will happen. And after this, they create the Monroe Institute, which is actually in place again. Is function in nowadays, but they start coming with these topics like relative position of our galaxy in the universe, and here you have the apple, and here you have the double toroidal field, and you can take it and analyze and trying to maybe match with the flat earth cosmology, and you're gonna have more sense in the flat earth cosmology than in the heliocentric world. But this is an actual document, and with this type of thing, and they call the Gateway Project, and it's really a complete document at least to trying to understand. And this is the
And what year was that?
What
year? Not recent or old?
The actual year is I think it's this. I don't know if this is the year of the release or the year of the experiment, which is 1983, 9th of June, and this is the name of the document and blah blah blah. It's a fascinating topic.
Yeah, I want to read it.
I read this, trying to understand that if you want to, you can see on movies, you can see in syncretism, you can see in the Asian cultures, and you can also see in the CIA document. I mean, how many things you need to trying to understand this topic,
Everything.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of that website. Shoot.
Hero, I just love your work, by the way.
Oh, thank you, man. I for me it's a little difficult trying to explain my same, the in English words, but it's a fascinating topic. I mean, I trying to unify a little bit of the flat earth cosmology with the Asian cultures. I have here a book, alchemical book and things like that, and it's crazy. It's crazy how everything is connected. It's completely crazy, man.
It is. I've been in some of that rabbit hole, but yeah, definitely. If you feel like it, put some of that stuff up on the wiki under the books or papers, or feel free, or share it with Telegram or something. I'd love to get on some of your stuff.
Can you write on the private chat your name, your Telegram group name, so I can? Yeah, of course, man. Yeah, and in this particular presentation, I give this presentation in the last Flutter conference in Barcelona 1 month ago, and I translate using the dubbing tool from 11 Labs to Spanish, so I cannot find right now the the original files in English, but I'm going to take the time to find here my computer and share in the English language, and maybe you can create like a topic of syncretism inside of your wiki project.
Yeah, it's got room for it all. You know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
just
Mhm.
it's just
Yeah.
a great resource to put all that stuff together.
Yeah.
So big shout out to Fishhead, Montana,
Hey, Fishhead.
over on Rockfin. $5 says negative pressure is the organizational force in the universe. Our toroid is a negative pressure dominant dual vortex in dynamic disequilibrium. That was very eloquently said. That was beautiful.
Read it one more time for us.
And here I have a little English clip that maybe it's nice because we were talking about cymatics, and I think I like to see in this way. Let me just present very quickly here. And this is an old study that was presented by this guy.
The film you're about to see has no characters, it has no people. It is a film to describe to you and explain visually the effect of cymatic frequencies on texture, structure, water, oil. If you spare a little of your imagination as you watch this film as it runs, you will see many things that answer many questions. You will see living forms, living amoeba, almost animal-like creatures. You will see continents being formed, the Earth itself coming into existence. You can see all this and watch it before your eyes. Everything owes its existence solely and completely to sound. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. We are told that this is how the world began and how creation took shape. We put that into the modern idiom and say that into the great voids of space came a sound and matter took shape. Please watch carefully.
Dr. Peter Guy Manners laid the foundation. Now we delve even deeper. The question is, are you ready to uncover the truths that have been meticulously concealed for centuries? Frequency and vibration, concepts long studied, with their sheer power archived in thousands of classified documents. The CIA, amongst other agencies, has detailed the immense capabilities of these forces.
This is a short clip because it's inside of my presentation, but again, I mean, 1986, and maybe if you start using or trying to fusion with the idea of electrical universe and you know, and the music from Sphere from Kepler, I mean, if you start taking all this knowledge that maybe Flat Earth brings to the table, you're gonna see like how every piece fit into the puzzle, and just that.
Have
Yeah,
you seen? Oh, sorry.
No,
Crazy
no,
looking.
go ahead.
Have you seen Universal One, the book?
Yeah, sure. With
That
Walter Russell.
Walter Russell. That's it. Yeah, it's on the wiki, by the way. But that right there is a good read. It kind of plays into basically everything is one thing. One thing being light. Light is everything. So if you have matter, it is light in motion. And motion being sound, you know, vibrations, frequencies, octaves.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, yeah, I totally dig this kind of stuff right here.
Oh, yeah, what do they call it? The universe. When you break it down, it's one spoken, you know, set of
Word.
words, and it never stops. It's never stopped yet. That noise
Yep.
is still being created. We call it the Schumann resonance. There's actually like 7 maybe resonances below 30 hertz that you can pick up, that they can measure. Just the 7.83 is one of the most predominant ones that stays constant throughout the day. So yeah, there's always frequency and vibration happening at all times. Everything is in frequency and vibration.
Yeah, and we reach. I you know, when I'm start looking into these things, and I mentioned before when Jeran asked me about what's I'm doing now, it's like it's like a Newton thing. For example, Newton, he brings the the law of motion and blah blah blah, and the rest of his life he was trying to understand the metaphysics behind this world. Supposedly he you can reach the writings of the actual Isaac Newton, and he was obsessed trying to find the end of the world and things like that, because maybe he was contagious by the Catholic ideas and things like that. But for me, it's something that in nowadays, after 8 years of bringing information about the physics of the flat earth, you naturally going, at least in my case, I get bored, in quote unquote, to I understand the map, I understand the water, I understand the electrical fields, the magnetism, the physical part of this study I already understand. So what else you need to understand? Well, maybe it's the metaphysical world. Of course, I really love to keep working for the beginners, because we need to cover the physics of the flat earth. But
you're probably like me. You don't want to be doing this in 5 years. Not the same thing.
Not the same thing. Yeah,
right.
We can keep going in terms of give more, experiment of long distance observation and trying to, of course. But you need to give another step and trying to, again, all these things are there for you to use in your own reality.
Right.
Because if not, it's just a reading. It's like an entertainment. Right. You need to separate the part. Okay, you can take it that way. It's your own life. It's your own incarnation in this world. But all this knowledge from, Asian cultures and other guys out there that was they trying to put in books and things like that, is like, okay, how you connect and how you, play yourself or play with yourself based on how to balance the energy that it's taking, or every day of your life when you discuss with your mother or with your partner or whatever. Because after all, that is life. It doesn't matter if it's flat or round. That is what that is what take your time of life. It's how you balance your energies. So
we don't say play with ourselves. That's not in English. That's not good.
Because I know in Spanish it has the same meaning.
Okay, it does have the same
right. Okay, you could go blind.
Okay, that is why you teach me how to speak in English.
Trying to help you, yes, to make sure you know how to do that.
Yeah. Okay, not playing with yourself with hands and things like that. No.
And you definitely don't talk to your mother about it.
No.
Okay, no, that well. Okay, let's go to Rockfin.
Yeah, let's go.
And, yeah,
you're funny, man. I don't know if people realize how funny you are. Hilarious, hilarious guy. We do have some more questions, real quick. Maybe we'll finish this off. We've got where is this? One say billions. My money is in good peace shelter. What is this for us? They removed an Earth map from a top-down, seeing wind speed at different altitudes. Can anyone create a new map showing real current info top-down? Looks like flat Earth. How are we going to get that information? I think of what I'm reading you asking. Then we
Isn't that Bob Wins?
Yeah, I mean, but again, that only shows you like at 30,000 feet and then 50,000 feet. There's just no in-betweens, but that's just the way, that's all we get. Do we have an explanation for the southern stars moving in a circular pattern? An explanation. Well, I mean, I think if you check out the Tomb of Illumination, that guy's got he's pretty sure about what he's saying, that the south stars are inverted north stars. I've looked into that before, and the reason you can't really line them up is because the ones in the south would be further, so they're a lot lighter, right? So you can't really match them because they're not. The light ones in the north would be dark in the south, or the bright ones in the south would be dark in the north. So it's kind of hard to see those. That you wouldn't be able to see both stars. He's showing you right here on the screen. But I think that to me, that's what happens is that you get so the north stars are turning around the North Pole, then the south stars are heading around, but to each person, they seem to circle the anti-north point, which means wherever you're facing north, turn around, that's south, and then the stars are going to circle that empty area there. They don't circle a star; they circle an empty area.
See, I think it's that the atmosphere is shaped like a dome. You know, we have heat. Most of the heat is coming from the ground.
Correct.
And well, not like a dome, more like a toroid, like a donut. That's how I think our atmosphere is somewhat shaped.
Like a bundt cake pan.
Yeah, exactly. And when you do that, when you take one of those hemispherical lenses, it works the exact same way.
There you go, right there.
Exactly, right here.
Just like that.
Yeah, that's
Hey,
what
tell me
happens.
something about my speed to bring videos, man.
It's so good. Everybody,
Iru's
just give
Thank you.
a standing ovation. We could just talk. I want to do my presentations now. Just have Eru sitting at a computer nearby.
And it
Bring up
just
everything I'm
up as you're
talking about.
saying it.
Just- right. That's great. Show that. Yeah, that's great. Right. So that's kind of how the stars unfold themselves to us. Why that is, I don't know if we can get a why to it.
Yeah, I don't think we're supposed to know these things. That was one of those things, you know, they're for signs and seasons, and that's about it. What they are, the more you look into it, the crazier you will go if you're being honest to yourself and really want to. I mean, if you just go with the heliocentric model and say, "Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense,"
Oh yeah, trillions of miles.
and
Got
not,
it. Okay.
yeah, and not really comprehend any of it, then yeah, you can do that. But when you take out a measuring device and sit there, I did it for 8 months trying to figure out what the sun was, and I said, I'm going to go crazy if I don't stop doing this, because it just kept making less and less sense the more I studied it.
If we live inside of a toroidal field, of course, like let me just go here, for example, things like that. You know, and you have light from the stars coming from outside, you're gonna have all this deformation.
Right.
The problem here is that when you go up 60 kilometers, 80 kilometers,
You lose them.
you don't see any more the stars. So we have we don't have all the pieces of the puzzle to trying to understand how light work in terms of the stars and coming to our eyes, passing through electrical, magnetic, toroidal field. You know,
See, it seems to me like they've corrupted it so much that I don't think any creator or anything like that would expect us to get it. Like at this point, they've just destroyed it so much that you're kind of bouncing your head off of a wall. And that's what I'm afraid of: is are we spending too much time on something that is inconsequential? Now, it's not it's not inconsequential in total, but it's because we've already accepted it. So now, can't we move on, knowing what we know and knowing that it doesn't matter? Like you're not like you figure out what the Earth is and you win a prize. Even if you figured it out, what good does that do you? Your life still is the same tomorrow. So to me, I feel like
Sort of.
well, I guess sort of, but I mean, I'm talking about like if let's say me, myself, I figured it out today. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it now. The stars do this and they do that. Okay, great. Then what do I do? Go around telling people about it. But what does that do for my life? Do I get automatic heaven points because I figured it out? Or am I in the same place I was?
There's some people who believe salvation is directly related to understanding that we are on a flat Earth, and I'm like, that's going too far, man.
Yeah, it's a little bit much. I think it would help you. For instance, if you were like me and became an atheist, or I think many people have gone through that and kind of dismissed it all, and then the flat Earth brought you back to the creator. That's the important part. So just to stay there and quibble about what the sun is and the moon, what is it, and why do we see one face? Then I think, well, what good does that do you? If you figured out what the moon is, does it change anything from you realizing that there's a creator and that the Earth is flat?
Yeah. Yeah, the way I look at it, we're in a terrarium, and there's the lights that are on in the sky, and they come up and they go down, they do all the things they do, they go around. Now, think of it like if we built a terrarium, this big, beautiful terrarium for, say, a bunch of ants, and we had a light that came up and went around and this and that. Do you think those lights are going to those ants are going to understand how that light works,
No.
like the electricity and the circuitry and what it's made of? No, they're not going to have any clue whatsoever.
Especially if they can't get to it.
Yeah, there's no way we can actually figure out what these things are. We're not supposed to, at least not yet.
That's right. And you nailed it earlier. You said that no man's going to basically have this whole thing figured out. And furthermore, if you kind of get into the Bible study stuff, it considers some of these scientific things to be kind of vain, repetitious,
Man's
I don't know.
folly.
Yeah, and you really aren't supposed to get stuck with that. And I take it two ways. One is, we should be learning the truth and forgetting man's follies, or we should basically be simple. We need to just forget about all of this scientific stuff altogether, whether it's truth or fiction.
Well,
I'm not sure.
What I know we need to do at this point, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit on my show, but is I think that you can no longer believe any video for sure. There's just, it's not, if a video has been made from this point forward, you can no longer believe it because you can really make anything.
Difficult, man.
Huh?
And it's gonna be difficult. And
Yeah.
we were in this situation like 5 years ago when we start talking and analyze the visual effects behind the space.
I remember we were
astronauts.
looking at the green screen and the shadows.
Yeah,
we were
and
like
we start
shocked that they
saying,
could do reflections. Now
Yeah,
you can have the
yeah.
AI do it in 2 seconds.
Yes, that's why it's gonna be crazy in the next couple of years. It's going to be impossible to detect if this is something real or not, and that is why they
Yeah.
justify this idea, this concept, to inquire you to present your ID before logging into internet.
Right. I mean, I don't know what good that would do, but because the problem that we have is now the world depends on clicks, right? That's what everybody wants, whether it's TikTok or whether it's Instagram. And so people now have the incentive to lie, to fake things, to fake viral videos, to fake interactions. And I'm just noticing now that they're all fake. Most of what you see on, that goes viral is just a set up situation. Now you can't tell because it's being portrayed to you as if it's a real life situation. But I remember watching this video the other day, and this guy was opening a package on his porch or was looking at a package, and then a neighbor came up, and when the neighbor was like, "Hey, do you live here?" He's like, "Yeah, I just moved in." He's like, "Oh, okay, I've never seen any moving trucks." So they're talking, having this conversation. And I thought it was real. I mean, I'm watching it thinking that, is this guy robbing the house or is he actually the new owner there? And then all of a sudden he says, "Oh, because there's something about a gun." And the guy's like, "Oh, no, hold on. Cut. Don't talk about a gun. All right, okay. Start. Go." And they forgot to edit that out. So I'm like, oh my God, the whole thing's a setup and the whole video is garbage. And then I go look at the comments and everybody's commenting on the video. Nobody even noticed. Nobody even noticed that they had a 3-second period of time where he's like, no, don't, stop. Don't mention guns. Yeah, don't mention guns. All right, go, start. And it's just right in the middle of the video. And they people are all talking about, oh, if that was my neighbor, this, I mean, going on and on about, and the video had, 11 million views or something. So it's just, it scares me that there's now an incentive to fake footage. There's an incentive to fake anything. I mean, because you can get clicks from that. What are the chances?
Yeah, it's just like science.
Right. There's an
They
incentive.
pay you
Right.
to find this. And they don't want to hear anything else but this. So find it.
Right. And they tell us that,
Statistics,
oh,
whatever
then
you gotta
other
do is find it.
other scientists go and try and disprove the thing that they, yeah, right. Who's getting paid for that?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Not happening.
Right. Yeah, your
Yeah,
new
yeah.
position is a horror.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're gonna take for me one in the I don't know how many years, but they're going to I think like you, Jeran, they are feeding and they are allowing us to put all these quote unquote fake information or AI videos and voices and things like that, because maybe one of the biggest or the next biggest false flag is going to be based on that. Remember, for example, just a couple of tweets from Donald Trump in the 6th of January, and
Right.
all the people going there and create this chaos.
Right.
And
Because they
if
could
you just
easily do
go-
like a Joe Biden comes out and says something, and then people act because of it, but it's just a totally fake video. And then they'll say,
Yes.
okay, we can't do this anymore. So now
Exactly.
we need to have the internet lockdown.
And if you go to the actual official website of Bilderberg meetings, if you take the last 5 years, including the 2023, they are talking about AI. And then, for example, you go to 2022, you're going to have the disinformation. Then you're going to have to, if you go into the another years, like 2019, you're going to have the here the weaponization of social media, the ethics of artificial intelligence. So you already have the dots to connect by yourself, and they are going to prepare some scenario. That's my opinion, of course, based on this, and then they're going to say, okay, we cannot allow anymore to the people to get free of these things, and they need to log in.
What is your what do you think about it though? What do you think? I mean, what should they do?
Well, I don't know if they can to do that, but a lot of it's like the bugs in thing where you're gonna have a lot of people that are going to agree to log in with the actual ID, real life ID, and then put the finger on the computer or present whatever. For example, right now, if you want to recover your Facebook account or YouTube account, they obligate you to take a photo of your IDs.
Right. Or you can't get it back.
So they are gradually getting us in that scenario.
So do we navigate away from it? My question is like, do we?
I would.
What a question, man.
Yeah, it's a tough question to bring up at the end of the show. But that's my questions I start having is that I would rather live with myself, my wife, my son, and live in a house with a pool and fruit trees and just live with us and not even worry about the world anymore. I mean, it's that bad that it's like, you're right. Because if you are on the internet or you are on one of these social media sites, then you're right. They're going to require all these things from you. And then, oh, I want to make money doing this. Oh, well, then you better give your vaccine. You got to have this. So it's like they're really making the world where you're not going to have much of a choice to play in their system, but not by their rules. Right? They're just not going to have that. So
yeah.
Someday the groceries.
Future, yeah, for us as a truthers, it's going to be a difficult thing. Yeah.
Have you seen that new video AI thing, the Sora thing that came out?
No. If you want to share, I allow you.
Show it real quick. Yeah, just let me move this over here. Just, I mean, this is how quickly AI is moving, and now it's like at this point, I mean, in a year from now, it'd be unrecognizable, really, what is right now. But now you can actually, I just have it come up here. What you can, it's called Sora, I guess. What did I just say? So Sora, and here's the thing that bothers me about it is that they haven't
share with us.
Oh yeah, man. Sorry, they haven't released.
Remember that from this point, Jeran is in control.
No, so if you have any problems either.
Are you going to show the one that Witsit put in the chat?
What did he put in the chat?
He put a AI faking video.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, this is that Sora, which is now you can do text to video. And like, this is something that somebody just wrote, man in a cloud right here, man in a cloud, reading a book, floating around. I mean,
wow.
So what the problem is now is that if you think about what you can do with this, it becomes like a dangerous thing. And I hate to say that, but it is dangerous because you can now fake anything, meaning you can, nobody would be able to tell this is fake. I mean, granted, he's sitting on a cloud, but I mean, I'm talking about.
Of course, yeah.
Look at these.
But remember that they program us like believing television. That was like the first step, believing radio and then in television. If the television talks about that, it's true. So imagine that taken to this level. I mean,
so look at this is what they
going to walk in the street with the vision globes of the Apple thing, and
But the weird thing is because these companies are saying they're not going to let people do it. Oh, we got to wait till but the people that are doing it can do it. So it clearly can be done. It's like, this is the description that they wrote, basically it's text to video. And in seconds you end up with this video where it's talking about an extreme close up of a gray haired man. I mean, look at that. If you can't tell that, there's nobody who would be able to say that that's fake. Now, granted, you might be looking at it right now and saying that's fake, but if you're looking for it, okay. But what if you just saw this on TV? What if you just saw this on, you would think that was a real person.
Yeah, that's a video.
So we are getting to that point now where it is becoming, and it's moving way fast.
Remember the video?
Look at that. How that's insane.
Wow.
And sometimes if you pause it and you look at people's hands, sometimes you'll see like somebody's head is on twice. There is some mistake still, but you're talking about a year away from being damn near perfect.
No, this is the beginning. Just the beginning of this technology. It's completely insane.
Where's the puppies? There's something. Oh, here, look at these woolly mammoths. Look pretty crazy. But there's like these puppies. Where's the woolly mammoths here?
We found the dinosaurs. Yeah.
There's these puppies that look insanely real.
I thought I saw it on this video, but maybe somewhere else. Anyway, it's pretty crazy that you can do that now. And I mean, really, if you think about it, like the whole idea of drone pilots is gone. You'll never need a drone pilot again. Now AI can do. You can just tell it, give me a drone shot from. Where's I think they have right here. Look at this. This is from where I used to live. That's AI.
Wow.
So look at Big Sur, drone shot of Big Sur. There's nobody who's going to look at that and know it's fake. It looks real.
Wow.
So now once you start to be able to put people in there, what's this? A movie trailer about a guy in space. I mean, this looks like a real movie trailer. So think of the things that you could do as a video creator now. How easy it would be to make videos.
With the 33 in the helmet.
Did it say that?
Yeah. Go back and you're gonna see like it has the number 33.
Oh, you're right.
Oh yeah.
Did they say anything about that? Let me see. Was that in there?
We talk about this in the show
nothing.
that I did. Yeah.
That's
Wow.
That's a
AI
coincidence.
just put it in there.
It's the casualty, and it's just that, you know.
We need to make a moon landing video, guys.
Right. I mean, look at this. So that's the thing, right? When they say they go back to the moon, you can no longer believe it. It's too late. They had every chance. They had every opportunity. Same thing with space. They had the 1960s, 70s, 80s, 90s to prove space. They didn't do it. They showed fake footage. So now when they come out with this super fancy footage and tell you it's real, you better be smart enough to tell them to shove it up their rear.
Yeah, now that people don't even need to do anything. The astronauts,
yeah,
you know, they don't even have to fake video. They could make the video. A couple
I think what
glitches
might
here
be
and there, you know, it's from space.
What might be easier for them to do is to have some sort of accident in space and then say they need robots. Because if you have robots, then we would never be able to tell.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, it's people. People's tough. I mean, especially if they're people that you know, like, oh, it's Mark Kelly going up there. Yeah, that might be harder to do. But look at this part.
Robots don't have a conscience, you know.
No. I mean, look at that. And it's like an intro to a movie. How is that AI? I mean, it just is insane. So it's going to be a crazy next couple of years. I don't even know which direction it's going to go. And these things just come out like out of nowhere. There's companies build. What's the other thing I saw? Did you see that new Rabbit device?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, there's some device called a Rabbit at rabbit.tech. I think rabbit.tech. And this company came out of nowhere that nobody even knew about it was coming. And they come out with an AI personal assistant, which it's not like an app for a phone because it actually works with every app. So basically you just train it to do whatever you want it to do. Let's say you want to listen to music on Spotify. So you just say, hey, Rabbit, play my favorite music on Spotify. And it once you've taught it, it knows to go into your Spotify account and to play your playlist, and it's got basically a connection so that it's always got your entrance to it or your sign on. And they're only $199, no subscription, and it just came out of nowhere. No one even knew this company existed, and they just came out with this new item about a month ago. This guy does a good, explains it, but it's pretty crazy. It's like this guy just came out of nowhere, founder and CEO of this company.
Founder and CEO of Rabbit. I'm so excited to be.
Yeah. So anyway, these things are going to keep coming. It's not going to be like, oh, now it's over. It's they say the next big thing. It's like AI. Because AI obviously can do things that, and I'm somebody who doesn't believe in artificial intelligence because it's not intelligent. But what it is it's a conglomeration of all. I don't want to say all knowledge. They even say like you won't even code. We don't need coders for websites anymore. Like there people that, and I was somebody who said, oh, why aren't they teaching kids coding in high school? It's like now AI can do all your coding for you because it knows all the coding language. So you just tell, I want to build a web page that does this and does that.
And it's so retarded for if something does happen and stuff gets broken down.
Oh God, they're done. Good night.
We have to rebuild things. Yeah.
Well, that's always been a problem anyway. I mean, if the world, let's say I always tell my wife, it was just me and Missa left, and then like a couple people started showing up, and I was like, oh, well, we got to figure out how to make matches. People are like, what is that? Well, it's a stick that has a little red end that you strike on something and we start fire. Well, how do we make it? I fucking don't know. A piece of wood with get a red tip, paint it red. I don't know. So believe me, we have big problems when it comes to the Rabbit. But I mean, if I can't figure out how to make a match, but no, I mean, it's just they really have dumbed us down. They've done a good job of it. All right, let's say goodbyes. It's already 3:20. Iru, say what's coming up for you, and adios, amigo.
Okay, bueno,
if you want to see it that way.
Por darme esta oportunidad.
No, in English, please. English, please.
Okay. No, for me, it's I just spent 2 weeks. This is my second week here in Argentina. Like I mentioned before, I trying to get around it and get used to, at least for the 4 months that I'm gonna be here. Trying to take the time to be with my friends, with my family, and of course I am live streaming almost every day for the Spanish community. I keep uploading things on Rockfin. I was demonetized on my YouTube English channel, so I trying to do on Rockfin, and I really appreciate it. I don't know what that means, but I only have 3 active subscribers. So everyone out there, I don't know if it's free or not. You want to follow me on Rockfin? It's called MPT for all. And besides that, man, I love to be every Sunday here. It doesn't matter if I delay like 1 hour because the time difference from where you are, guys. But I really appreciate that. I keep be with you every Sunday and share my my content with the English community. And beside that, I going preparing this 3 conference on the Latin America tour, if you want to see in that way, and keep working and enjoying this incarnation.
Awesome. And for you, Zachary?
GlobeBusters Tech will be, I believe we're doing it on Cymatics this Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern on the GlobeBusters channel. And then freeworld.fm. Go check it out if you haven't heard of it yet. Billy Ray Valentine, truther for a long time, started his own online radio broadcast type thing.
Nice.
Putting a lot of work into it, a lot of effort. I know Wayne McCroy's over there. It's not strictly flat earthers. I don't even think it's mostly flat earthers, really. I mean, people are starting to talk about it a little bit on there. It's coming, it's going around all the big, everybody's talking about it. So, yeah, you'll find us over there Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings at 5 a.m. Eastern, early bird special. We have a lot of fun. Come check us out.
Awesome. And our guest, Joel, from No Longer on the Ball and the Flat Earth or True Earth Wiki. Anything you want to tell people before you go?
Thank you very much for having me on. It's been a awesome experience and a pleasure. Absolutely enjoyed it. Thank you very much. I'm going to just keep on chipping at the wiki. So anybody want to drop gravy my way, I'll appreciate it, and I'll put it on the wiki if I can. And as always, much love. But Jeran, definitely take a look at all the super chats before we hang up.
Sorry, let me get there. Did we not call them out? I was doing something else here. Where are we at? We'll get those before we head out. Let's go to fan funding. Did you catch all the ones on Rockfin, Zach? Please. We've got.
Sorry, yeah, no, there was. I think one slipped by me here. Yeah, Fishhead, Montana. Anyone wondering about the optics of the sky should watch Shane St. Pierre's presentation on the optics. It's pretty epic, he said. Southern star rotation is in there. And then Matithiawa Yahoo tip $5 said, "Thank you for answering my question. Elohim's medicine." I believe he was talking to Iru there.
All right, so we have
thank you.
Balliet Bran. Thank you very much for 1111. Thank you for all your hard work. Globe Religion is about to fall. We've got Liz, the Iron Maiden. Thank you very much for the $5. We've got Carrie Okier, $5. It's time to stop calling it Flat Earth model. Correct model is better. We've got Witsit Gets It in the house. Witsit, stop playing with yourself. Yes, Iru, please knock it off. Imagine combining all this AI. I don't want to think about that. Witsit, I really don't. He says, imagine combining all this AI technology with Neuralink. They're trying to go in that direction.
Black Mirror. There you have it.
Huh?
It's Black Mirror. It's a Black Mirror.
Yeah, Black Mirror
reality.
Yeah, it's and it's around the corner. It's going to be fast too. It's not like something this is taking a while to do. At this point, it's moving. Right, look at that eye. That is insane. That's fake. It looks real. So yeah, it's going to be a pretty bumpy ride, but I would just encourage people to double check everything that you share. I know that it might not mean a lot to you to do so, but it means a lot. It hurts the community more than it helps if we are obviously sharing things that aren't true. And you might think it's not a big deal. And I've heard people say, like, that guy that Bora from Pfizer, right, is sitting up on stage and he says something, and they've now edited it to say, we want to reduce the population of people, right? And then, I'll tell people, hey, don't share that. That's not real. They've cut that. And then they'll be like, yeah, but that's what they want to do. I'm like, yeah, I understand that. Well, then what's the big deal? The big deal is that's not true. The big deal is that video is not true. What you're saying is true, but I just want people to recognize that if you put that out there, and then, because I've seen it happen to truthers when they share it with their family and friends, and then they find out it's real. That person now almost gets out of the truth movement because of it, because they feel like all the videos are fake if this one's fake. Like, oh, why are they faking? Why would truthers be faking evidence for these guys being psychopaths? They are psychopaths. You don't just wait. They keep revealing themselves all the time.
Well, remember
don't need
that
to force
the QAnon movement started a lot of this faking it thing.
No, Q is real. So that, no, I'm just kidding.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Okay. You're saying, okay. No, I mean, it's pretty crazy, but again, I would just say double check everything before you share it. Don't fake stuff. Put up real stuff. And there's plenty of real stuff out there. They're just got to find it. Got to look for it. All right. And for me, I've got my show tonight, probably around 6 or 7. I'll post that right after this. And then we've got Wednesday, a debate instead of Tuesday, because somebody's from out of the country, so they need it to be on Wednesday. And I believe that's all I need to talk about right now. Oh, I've got a new song coming. The video is being worked on. It's almost ready. Should I play 2 seconds of the song? Maybe just a little teaser, just to tease it. It's not me singing. It's of course the great and wonderful, the Conspiracy Music Guru is doing it for me, and it's done. And let me show you this real quick, and we will just a tease, just a little tiny taste. But it's funny. I was watching this, and I just started thinking of this song, and I said, "Oh man, me and parodies, I like to write it." And then kind of took a life of its own, and I reached out to Conspiracy. I said, "Hey, can you tell me if you think you want to do this?" And he thought it was hilarious, so it's good stuff. Let me find it right here. This one, I think. So I'll play a little bit of it for a second, and then we'll be heading out. Let's see if it'll come up. Is that it? There. Anybody recognize the movie?
We are not looking anything right now.
Do you hear anything?
Yeah, I hear it.
Okay. Anybody recognize the movie?
No, not by the noise yet.
Okay, you'll get it here in a second.
All right. What's it going to be? A galactic farce for Christopher?
Now you recognize the movie?
Willy Wonka?
Yeah, Willy Wonka. I'll just play a little smidgen of this real quick.
Night sky, drape it in a lie. Polish up some mirrors and say that they see back in time.
The NASA man?
The NASA man. The NASA man can.
It's fucking great.
Awesome.
It's fucking great. Not the Candy Man. It's now the NASA Man can.
The NASA Man can.
They can do anything. The NASA Man can do anything. Just think of all the lyrics you can come up with that. I mean, who can say they touched the sun? The NASA Man can. That's about the only one who can say that. Nobody else would dare make a claim like that but the NASA Man. All right. We'll talk to you guys soon. Be kind to each other. Don't lie to each other. Open your mind. There is truth inside. Till next time. Oh, did we get all the super chats? We did. We got all that. Good. Great. You guys are awesome. Thank you for supporting the channel. Again, there's that Ko-fi link. And I'll have Austin explain it to me so I can better explain it to you by next week. All right, guys. We'll talk to you soon. Take care. This has been Jeran and GLOBEBUSTERS. Peace.